I mean, you know,
I may be against Linux, but you know.
in a lot of ways, Linux is better than Windows, but in a lot of ways, Linux is a lot more work.
I just want to play video games. That's all.
Listen,
Yeah.
there's a difference between that's like yeah, if you tailor all your own clothing, you're gonna get a better fit than if you get to a than if you buy your clothes at Macy's. But
why buy anything from American Eagle when you can just craft everything in your house like a 1700s housewife?
Right, exactly.
I can't afford to feed 1,700 housewives. I've only got one.
You don't even have a housewife. She's a work.
And I would remind you that I am not a housewife.
No, yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I do think Linux is easier to use than people generally get credit for, but I'm not sure if I'm the best person to make that kind of comparison.
Well, I'm sure it's fine. That's not the point. I think the point is just like...
I honestly think the biggest...
I'm just trying to use that analogy when people talk to me about the ins and outs of Firefox. Is like half the time it's those kinds of people, and I'm just
I do think that's a good analogy
about your claim.
Yeah, I think that's actually a very good analogy, because you can make Linux exactly the environment you want it to be, or like you can get Windows Lite Linux and not worry about it, or you can just do Windows.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and that's not to say there's anything wrong. I mean, I think so I have a coworker who sews beautiful clothing for herself. Like, really, she does. She's incredibly talented. And every once in a while she'll go on and on about how, like, she doesn't understand why more people don't sew their own clothing. And I'm like, you really like sewing your own clothing. Like, that brings you a lot of joy. But for people who it doesn't bring joy, it's probably not something they should go about doing. Because it sure as heck doesn't save you money.
Right.
Like, if you consider your time to have...
I mean, Linux pretty much functions like Windows. You don't have to put work into it. Like, you can change your desktop background or whatever just as easily. I think for most people casually using it, it'll be pretty much the same experience.
Except for, like,
downside
you can't play many games with it.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue is like game compatibility, and that would get better as Linux grows in popularity. But Linux has not reached like a critical mass where it's worth spending a bunch of extra development time for it.
Arguing, that's like when I lived in the Deep South, and I would talk to people, and they'd be like, "Well, but if we ever talk to people on the left, and they'd be like, well, if we ever want this Deep South to become more liberal people just need to move to the Deep South." Well, and as a liberal person who was living in the Deep South at the time, it was kind of like, yeah, but it sucks in the meantime.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean...
But in the meantime, as a woman, I cannot make reproductive choices.
Yeah. It's a matter of, like, it's... I forgot what the term is called. It's basically the technology adoption curve. And
right, there's a word for that.
Solar has gone through, it's actually in the middle of going through right now, where it's reached a critical mass where solar is getting cost effective for more and more people. Because it's finally reached a point where, like, it is a cost effective decision in many areas to put solar panels on your rooftops.
Part is because there's lots of government subsidies, and there's other things that we as a society have decided we value solar.
Well,
we're willing to invest in it.
Government subsidies is not fair because the biggest reason oil is still profitable.
I also know that. I'm not. That was not intended to be a criticism of solar. It was just an observation.
Government subsidies are the titular sign of a community deciding to embrace a technology.
Right. Absolutely.
Like Like, yes, oil and, to a greater extent, like, coal only exists because of government subsidies. So oil and coal are subsidized because we embrace them and needed them at a time. They're continuing to be subsidized over other things because of reasons. But yeah, us, like, subsidizing solar and then all the other renewables is because we as a society have decided to embrace them. Which is the tipping point in social adoption. Is when the government helps people get it in their homes.
Yeah, and that was actually one more thing I wanted to bring up is like like if subsidies are taken out of the equation on all sides, like solar would still be cost effective now. It wouldn't be cost effective at the time like solar was getting started up because solar was more expensive and less efficient. But like
Look,
now solar is,
I want the government to invest in hamster wheel technology.
I
I
mean,
personally have not saying I was not trying to suggest that I had any problem
oh,
with
no,
the
no, no,
government
like,
subsidizing.
you're
What I
fine.
was trying to say is that the fact that the government is subsidizing it is
Mhm.
part of
Mhm.
society has decided that we care about this thing, and therefore we as a community have decided to subsidize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was why I was trying to say is I don't know that it's a fair analogy to Linux, because I don't know that we as a society, like, without
No,
that societal consent, I think it would be very hard for any computer operating system, to really make a dent in the current monopoly structure that we have.
I will put forward the reason solar was subsidized was because of that very same technology adoption curve. They were the subsidies were intended to jumpstart it, but like the same way like things used to be adopted in the past without subsidies, like things like the loom. Um, like there is a technology adoption curves. It's still there. It's just happens a lot slower without the subsidies.
Yeah, but
And
the difference between
Linux
like
is
Linux and all those other things
growing.
is that like there's not a lot of overlap between people who want Linux and people who like casually embrace computers. Like the vast majority of computer consumers are people who use it for office work, and otherwise, like it's a tool to be used as opposed to like a thing they want to use. And most of those people don't give a shit what their operating system's running. They're
Yeah,
probably
but
not even paying for it. They're probably not even selecting it. And then, like, well, a lot of the people who desire to use a computer do so for like game purposes and stuff. And and then how many of those guys are just buying pre-builts? And that's just going to be Windows baked in. And like, there's just not a lot of people who want Linux in terms
but
of
I mean the
like
simple.
that's not technological. There's no need for Linux for most people. Like technological adoption has to have a need. Most people want cheaper electric. Most people want to be able to make mass-produced clothes with a loom. Most people want these other things. It's just they need to know that they want it, or have it be available to them price-wise. Linux is literally free, and it still can't outcompete uh, Microsoft Windows because
Because
people
Windows is also free.
people just don't need it. Like the amount of
Um,
effort you have to go through to get Linux is not worth for most people the value you get out of it. Because if it's functionally like Windows, but Windows just is already on my office laptop, why?
yeah. Uh, like I mean, my point was going to be like Linux is like growing, like actively,
Right, but
and
there will
so
always have to be a need, and I don't think there's a big need for Linux. It is still going to grow, but I don't think it's ever going to be anywhere close to.
I mean, I think like people are slowly getting more and more annoyed with Windows. So I do think eventually there's going like it's definitely not there now, but I think eventually there's going to be like a tipping point where people are just like tired of Windows doing random shit.
I don't think it'll be a tipping point. I think you got to remember that you're in a community of people who like care about this shit. Like you're talking to a guy who has stripped down LTSC. Like I definitely am annoyed by Windows,
Mhm.
and if Linux allows me to play most of my games, I'll probably switch. But we are not the majority of people by any
Yeah.
means.
I mean, yeah, but it's never going like people like us are always going to be like the earlier adopters of this kind of thing, and it says a lot about how it's going by the fact that I'm not using Linux because
Right,
I
that's the point I was about to
I
make.
like to
Is
play
like
video games.
is that I don't think that,
But
like, I think Linux is more similar in my mind to the analogy I already used, the person choosing to make their own clothing. Like,
I think that's an incredibly accurate.
do you get really beautifully made clothing? Oh, heck yeah. Is it way higher quality than what you can buy at most stores? Absolutely. Is the fit beautiful? 100%. But like, the
But you
barrier
don't
to entry is just too high for most people.
you don't save money. It takes more time, It is exactly what you want it to be when you put the time and effort into it. But most people don't need that.
I mean,
Yeah.
you
I mean,
have to, and
I
there's nothing
don't.
wrong with it if it is what brings you joy. I mean, and not to be too Marie Kondo about the whole thing, but like, if it is something that you genuinely love, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah. I don't like see Linux becoming the mainstream operating system. I just think it's going to get large enough to warrant regular support from devs.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't even see that really happening. At least not
I mean,
remotely anytime soon. Because also, like, every time we advance in fucking decent tech, Linux has to take a step back. Like, DLSS doesn't function 100% properly on Linux.
mhm.
And at every single step forward in every other technology puts Linux a step back. And then you still need people to need or want Linux enough to embrace it. And it's just, I don't think it's ever going to be that big. I think more people would be more willing to make their own clothing than there will be people who like see a need for Linux. Like when I throw my server together, Linux is technically the more efficient way to do it, and I'm doing it that way to learn Linux. But even then, I could just do it through fucking Windows and be fine. But I want to learn Linux because I'm a nerd. Well, like everybody has a practical need, like in reality, to make their own clothes, especially like as things get more expensive and worse quality. But like I said, Microsoft, like Windows is basically fucking free for most people. There's just no need to switch.
I don't know. I think sooner or later, Unreal Engine or like pretty much if any of the game engines start supporting Linux natively, like it become much more common.
That's you're asking a corporation to put extra effort into their work.
I mean, a lot of the people making video games run Linux anyway.
Sure, but they're not making video games for themselves. They're making video games to sell.
I think it's going to depend on how much friction there is to make it compatible with Linux. Which can be kind of a lot. I don't actually know how much would go into the compatibility. I know it's not easy because it hasn't happened. I don't know how hard it is.
What is this thing you sent me, Adam?
Didn't do anything.
Ah. Didn't send me nothing. Look at this guy. Always playing Pokemon Red and Blue. We're trying to play a game here, Adam.
I was gonna give you guys the time you needed.
No, it has to get cut off. Me and Joe will literally go on forever.
Mm-hmm. It's a problem.
I found a new, that's not new, I found a ROM hack called Shin Pokemon, and...
Did you name your character Linux?
Well, yeah.
Alright, I love it. Anyway, there's two rock people, Sun and Moon.
You have spent the past 2 days or so traipsing through the jungle. You are low on supplies. You're not really low on food, but your
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm grabbing food for everybody. That's free for me.
your usable resources are beginning to get low. Khali may have difficulty creating reagents. She's already out of bullets. Lycaena has no ranged weapons of which to speak. I know that like spellcasting components aren't a thing anymore, but for the sake of abstraction, it's like, yeah, you guys weren't necessarily prepared to be cut off from civilization, so it's beginning to become haggard. You are not sure where you are in the world, but Lycaena climbed a tall tree and found a sign of civilization. There is some sort of skyway gondola system leading to what appears to be a pyramid in the mountains some 40 miles away. And one of the endpoints of the gondola system was just a few days' travel through the jungle away, which you've arrived at. You found the end of the gondola system. It is leading to a quarry where two humanoid enormous statues are busily breaking up rocks with big hammers, and then collecting the pieces of rock that they've driven from the wall up to a ramp where they place them on these gondola platforms. And as you watch them work and busy themselves, around every 30 minutes or so, the gondolas will depart and a new one arrives. And it seems to be happening about twice an hour. There does not seem to be any intelligent presence.
I mean, that's the way to do things. Well, I mean, we could, like, test to see if they're at all... Oh, we're in a jungle. They probably are just kind of programmed to fuck up anything that walks near them in case, like, animals walk in and try to mess with them.
Well, I mean, we could just try to sneak on. I know we're not very stealthy, but...
Wait a second. I have a spell for this. If you give me 10 minutes, I could check to see how, like, interacting with the golems would go.
What spell do you have for this?
Augury.
Oh, well... I mean, we're not doing anything else, I suppose.
Gonna cast a second rank spell.
Yeah, but I already prepped Augury in that slot, so this is gonna happen eventually.
Gonna roll my secret flat check.
And you're going to make a face that would tell me how the flat check went,
I
right?
can turn my face on. Yeah, hold on. Let me turn my face on.
I was joking.
Change it off of the...
I was making fun of the fact that we're online.
All right, man. All right.
She prepared with the face. Not a natural reaction. I can't trust it. Anyway, so oh,
No, you used augury. What does that look like for your character?
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was about to ask. Is like,
how does it manifest?
There's no way it's not the spider spinning a web, right? With an answer.
that's entirely what I was thinking because I have a spider and it spins a web. It's random. We cover in the thing.
is this clickety itself that's what's doing it, or is it like...
Yeah, that's I was imagining Clickety just kind of spinning a web because I have a spider and there's so much fate bullshit attached to like weaving. So
Yeah, so, you know, clickety, you I imagine you reach up and drop clickety off in like an overhead branch, and he starts spinning a web in the corner of where the tree sends off to a lowest branch, and it's getting longer and longer. And, you know, the casting time is not so much you actually casting a spell, but that's how long it takes for clickety to build this web together. And then, like, once the web is built, the, like, lines kind of shimmer, like it was a hidden word picture or something, or like a magic eye picture that comes into focus.
Yeah. We're over here trying to interpret like where it places, you know, every support line and everything. Man, trolls probably have an easier time with their guts than this.
Mixed.
Mixed? Okay. I was like, alright, if we just kind of run in there and try to interact with the golems, we'll have mixed results.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be combat, and we might win, right?
We don't know if it's going to be combat or not. It might be peaceful.
I mean, they might have, like, programmed interactions.
You are welcome to test that assumption at your convenience.
They noticed us?
Mr. Picard. No, as long as... I'm imagining that you guys are staying on the edge of the quarry, and you have the capability of circumnavigating this place, as well as entering through the like main entrance to the quarry. So whatever perspective you want is available to you. But as you are up on the upper edge of this pit, I have a definition of how deep the pit is. What is it? 15 feet. The statues are regarding you with zero interest.
How high is this side of the gondola off the ground?
The gondola is on a platform, or it docks at a platform. That platform is off the ground.
Doesn't give you a
Off.
height.
It does. It's in here somewhere.
Okay.
That moon's giving me Popeye energy.
He am's what he is.
Yeah, I see it.
I'm going to say that it's maybe 20 feet tall or 30 feet tall because it's going to be raised up above the edge of the pit.
Yeah.
And the statues do climb that slope occasionally to drop big chunks of unworked rock into
Yeah.
the
this hole.
the gondola when it arrives. So they kind of, their routine seems to be bashing the walls until the gondola arrives, and they stop what they're doing, pick up the debris, carry it up there, do that until the gondola leaves, and then start the whole process over again.
So this is not a realistic jump to make.
Right.
If you can see my measuring tool. Okay. Because that's going to be 20 feet out and 10 feet up.
And it's not a steep ramp. It's as gradual as it needs to be for, like, if you were going to be carrying a load up there with, like, a wheelbarrow or some such. It's not prohibitively steep, so it's not. I wouldn't call climbing that ramp difficult terrain as you judge it.
So like a 30-degree slope or something.
Yeah.
This is where I do triangle math to figure out exactly how high the gondola is off the ground.
Please don't. It's just not worth it, you know?
Oh, it's really not. And the maps can be fucky sometimes anyway. There was one of the Age of Ashes maps is like a straight up paradox. Which I
Which
always
one
This
that?
is definitely one of those, like, don't ask too many questions about the map moments.
Yeah. For which one that was, Nick, it was I kind of just rectified it in the thing, but because the place wasn't meant to be particularly magical. But it was in the ghost area, so there was probably room for that. But it was like one of the manors you had in the ghost area, and it was the map where Garth first used transposition the teleport spell. You teleported one of the demons to. Then you swapped with one of the
Yeah.
demons. It was like visually the map looked like it sloped downwards, but but the books made it sound like it was supposed to slope upwards, and the downstairs and the door was supposed to lead under it. And so just like what the books had and what the maps had was inconsistent with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a old Pathfinder 1 scenario map that refers to a staircase that isn't on the map.
Classic.
Like, you can enter through here and climb down the staircase, and it's like there is no staircase. You're like, well, okay, let's pretend there's a staircase.
When the art department and the writing department don't work together.
I mean, it
Yeah,
might just
exactly.
be as simple as like at the very end here, like there was like revisions made after the art was done, or some shit.
I mean, it's whatever. It doesn't really matter, you know. It's just one of those funny things that you notice, and you're like, huh, that's weird. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, the
Well-
point is, I'm not doing triangle math on the ramp.
All right.
Good, correct.
We're all playing a fantasy game. Let's not worry too much about it.
Well, you know what's not a fantasy? Mathematics.
Depends on how you do it, I think.
You know what? I'm gonna tell that to your wizard.
The mathematics are not a fantasy. However, they can be imaginary.
Also, math is just logic. It's just writing it down.
I'm not
to
talking
figure out
about math, guys. Like,
Okay.
It's like that
it's not
fucking.
solving our problem.
It's like the meme I saw where it's like biology is just applied to chemistry, chemistry is just applied physics, physics is just applied mathematics, and then mathematics is just applied logic.
Mhm.
Or maybe logic is just applied mathematics. But so we're gonna fight these golems, right?
Not fight the golems if we can possibly avoid it.
I mean, I would like to avoid fighting the golems because I've ran golems and they're fucked up.
But these are new golems, right?
Yeah, Adam wouldn't put us up against outdated creatures, would he?
Indeed, they are in fact nude golems.
Shit.
Who
Now I
is?
suddenly have urges to ask about like anatomical accuracy, but I just don't want to know that much. So let's move on.
As you can see, this is clearly custom art. The default art for them is this, which I didn't like.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's awfully.
I
I
like
think that-
their
I think that's pretty cool.
aesthetic, but I don't think it works for what they're doing.
Correct.
Yeah, like why would they have giant weird stone swords if what they're doing is clearing?
That also makes it look like they are definitely going to attack us.
Right.
It just means they're ready to attack us.
Well, it's probably just the default art for this type of golem.
Yeah.
Oh, this looks really specific. This looks like old elven statues walking around.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that's what maybe this is old elven statues walking around Golem.
They do appear to have elven or lithe bodies, but their heads have been replaced with a sun and a moon. Celestial orbs suspended inside a large vertical ring.
So definitely not custom because their head is not a sun or a moon.
Yeah, that's hence the sun and moon token.
Wait, what kind of default art gave their golems those kinds of hips?
They don't lie.
But listen, those hips don't lie.
Even ancient Castrovel elves are horny.
That's entirely fair.
Where do you think Golarion elves come from?
They just didn't have DeviantArt at the time, so
So they made golems.
yeah. So
So who's
yeah.
first?
Yeah, well, I mean, so who's got the highest golem diplomacy score?
Well, I probably have the highest diplomacy score, I think. At least I did last time we checked,
I might
which
have
was
the
mildly
highest.
terrifying.
Actually, it'd probably be either me or Khali with the highest in golem diplomacy because I have high arcana and crafting.
I have +6 diplomacy.
Did I arcana to see how these are programmed, or is that outside the scope of what I'd be able to
Target
do?
one of them and recall knowledge.
Sure. Oh,
Because I'm imagining you guys have loads of time to sit here and watch and observe these things working. So, they are definitely performing complex programming. If they were just mining or just delivering things up there, you may be able to dismiss them merely as just like animated objects. But they're doing something complex, and that makes you think that they might be like more powerfully animated. You believe that these are in fact stone golems. And if you want to, you can ask me a question about stone golem.
like stone golems in general.
Yeah, like stone golem, the creature type. Or if you have a more specific about these guys.
Can my question be: are these new golems or old golems?
Just to clarify, new golems is spelled like this.
Golem.
God damn it! Like, do they have are they functioning with the old spell immunity? Is I guess what
I mean, they were definitely written that way, right?
Yeah,
Because this came out.
Yeah, you expect them to be, like as powerful as the reputation of golems. So
Okay.
the whole anti-magic thing.
I am completely helpless to these golems. God.
I don't know. Maybe they're weak to augury.
Augury did lend to you that there could be some good to come out of going into the quarry.
I think maybe they're like, we can't be the first people. I mean, we don't know what they were programmed to do, and I think we should work under the assumption that generally people are decent, and generally speaking, maybe the golems would be willing to help us in our time of need.
I also don't see any bodies represented on the map, or like skeletons or bones or anything to
Right,
suggest
like,
that these
so-
golems have recently harmed things.
Right, exactly. So I think we should. I don't know.
I vote we just kind
Like,
of go in.
Lycaena is willing to go in and talk to them.
All right, I'm down. I'll let Lycaena take a lead.
Okay.
I mean, this might be a really, really bad idea, but like Lycaena is also not very old, and so I feel like making some really silly choices is just in character for someone who's, a teenager.
I can't argue against it. Not that arguing with
Like-
teenagers is frequently productive, but
Exactly. I mean, maybe it's because I work with college students, but like 19-year-olds?
Do the rest of you want to stay up on?
Can we kind of climb down?
Yeah, you guys can like go off jungle a little bit and come around. The climb is very clearly rough hewn walls with a DC 15 athletics check.
Oh. I see I should be able to do that.
But if you just walk off screen a little bit, it slopes down and you can come around.
okay.
Oh, then she'll just do that. That's easier.
Yeah. So you guys descend and tentatively enter the quarry to see if these things raise hostility.
Yeah, she doesn't have her weapon drawn. So she's really trying to be, non-aggressive with them.
Once you set foot into the worked area of the quarry, they both stop what they're doing and turn to look at you.
Excuse me?
Ma'am?
She will say out loud.
You can't park here. There's no response.
She'll try an
Elven.
Elven.
Yeah.
Can she try an Elven?
You can try an Elven.
She will try an Elven. She speaks Elven. Whatever the appropriate formal greeting is in Elven.
There's no response.
Fae, maybe? Can we speak Fae?
She'll
speak
try Aklo. Hollet.
Oh, they're definitely going to speak Hollet. Calling it now.
You go through your list of languages, but as their stony visage betrays, they do not respond to any language.
I'll try Empyrean and Fae now. Okay.
Okay.
I guess we nudge. I shouldn't be the one to nudge closer, but I guess we should nudge closer. And just kind
Lycaena
of
will nudge closer.
like,
She'll sort of step to here maybe and see what happens.
Okay. On your way over there, they begin rushing you with their warhammers.
they didn't have warhammers in the picture.
Yeah, you're right. I did describe how they were using hammers to smash.
Yep.
So I'm going to move you back because once you start moving forward is what's going to trigger them to also start moving forward. And they get hostile.
If we step back, do they cease their hostilities?
Do you guys all want to commit to doing that?
Yes.
Yeah, so once you leave the quarry, they, so you guys, back up. And what they do is they kind of stand near the entrance for a little while. And then very shortly after lose aggro and go back to what they were doing.
So they've got a aggro range.
Okay. Okay.
So what are we thinking, guys?
I'd definitely rather not fight them.
Well, if no other reason, then I don't want to upset whoever owns these gondolas.
Paid a lot of good money for them gondola robots.
What are you
Could
doing
we
to my
maybe-
gondola robots?
Now they're all gondola.
Right. Okay, that was a really unfortunate statement that you just made.
Did we ever figure out where we were?
No, we still don't know for
You,
sure.
you spent the night studying the stars, and the stars were familiar but strange. And the inclination you got was that you're probably in Tinsha?
I was read it as Tianzai. Or Tianchai.
If it's supposed to be Chinese inspired, right? X is not.
It's like a she noise.
Yeah, but it's like way in the back of your fucking mouth.
Tianchai?
Yeah.
Right. It's like pray. Yeah.
That
Tien,
sounds-
As
you're
I
on the continent
understand it,
of Tien.
but I'm not an expert. All right, we're on the continent Tien.
Yeah, on the southern hemisphere, which is why everything is sort of normal but weird.
Anyway, Lycaena's... Okay. So they go back to doing what they're doing. What's farther up? Like what's at the other side of this thing? So like this platform between these two little purple doohickeys, how high up is it?
It is around 30 feet, probably like 25 feet. It's enough to be out of the pit. So
Could
that
we
the
climb
gondola...
it?
Could you climb it?
How,
Yes.
how consistent is the platform? Like, when it arrives, does it leave like exactly 5 minutes later, like on the dot, or does it seem to wait until there's sufficient amount of rocks on it?
It doesn't seem to do that. Through the course of your observations, you can see that when it arrives, the statues will begin carrying what they have up there. When they don't have anything to carry, they go back to wailing on the walls. Sometimes the gondolas leave empty because they.
Oh.
They,
Are they moving around the quarry, or are they always working in sort of the same spot?
one of them is kind of working on the left side, one's working on the right. But yes, they are being like Age of Empires 2 villager efficient about it. Is that a reference anybody understands?
Yeah. Choppa?
Oh,
Choppa?
So could we wait till like they're at the far side of the quarry and then try to sneak onto the platform and get into a gondola? Does that seem something that's viable?
Trying to rush the platform right before it leaves, that part of it seems pretty viable. You don't really have any way to control how they move about the quarry, and
Right, we'd have to wait for an ideal moment.
right. Well, and that ideal moment might take a long time because it seems to be that they're working off whatever the closest part of the quarry is to the ramp at any given time. And the speed at which they're going, like, it might take days before they got to the far end of the quarry.
yeah. I mean, I bet rush it right as about to leave. That's kind of where I was going with getting a consistent schedule on it.
So did they react like right away to us stepping in, like immediate aggression, or did they delay it all? Like, did they look like they were waiting for something, or did they just immediately attack?
It looked like once you stepped into the quarry, they like went on alert to into reaction mode, and it wasn't until you continued on into the quarry before they like came at you with menacing intent.
Do we still have the?
I think they're clearly programmed to approach us to defend the quarry.
Yeah, I mean, and they may not be necessarily lethal. It could be that they just pick you up and throw you over the edge. Who knows? Let your life be on the line to test that.
Kirrik has a
Well,
proclivity to violence, so he'll just let you guys decide what to do, and if violence is needed, he'll be here.
I bet we rush the gondola, like, when we have a single-digit number of rounds. Actually, how long? How far is that away? Everybody can clear 80 feet in a round, right?
At what point did they acknowledge us? And at what point entering the quarry did they leave us alone?
Once you pass this threshold here.
Okay. So that's about... I can't tell. Zooming in. That's about 40 to 35 feet, and then up to the top of the whole thing is another... And we know it's not difficult terrain. Another 30 feet. So it's a trip. So I mean, if you did a double movement, you could theoretically make the distance, right?
I mean, I have a 30-foot move.
Yeah. I'm wearing armor, and I think so is Where is my move skill on here?
It's
on your main page.
Khali's speed is 25.
My speed is 25. I feel like that should be reduced by my armor, but apparently it's not, so...
Probably reduce to 25.
Well, I mean, 25 is the default move speed. I thought that was only if you grab Nimble Elf. Hold on, did I grab
Yeah,
Nimble
I'm
Elf?
not a nimble elf.
I
I am
definitely
not a
didn't grab
nimble elf.
Nimble Elf.
Nimble off. Nimble off.
Nimble Elf.
No different god. Anyway, the point I'm making is I think we can probably make it in maybe a round and a half.
I mean,
Unless somebody has a better idea, in which case I am 100% cool with us doing the better idea, but I don't have one.
yeah,
I'm certainly
I mean,
lacking in better ideas.
40 plus 35, we can all... on grounds that I can actually move faster than everybody else here, I'll take Lycaena's spot, and then everybody else grabs these squares, because I'll have to run a little bit like, far enough to make the threshold for move speed, because Kirrik only has to move 75 feet. The square above Kirrik is also going to be 70 feet. Here, the square above Lycaena is 75, but where Lycaena is right now is 80. And so, if you have a 25 move speed, you can't make it in one round, standing where Lycaena is.
Yeah.
But I have a 30-foot move speed, so I can.
Game is so silly.
Thresholds. Ooh, an important consideration in game design.
All right. Everybody cool with that? That's a plan?
Sure. Let's go.
Person. All right, well, let's see how this shakes out. Let's roll initiative first.
I mean, let's get everybody into their squares where they can make it to the thing in one round. These four squares were it, and I need to be where Lycaena's standing.
Okay, well, I'd like to move, but I can't right now.
DM?
Should be free movement.
Well, it's not letting me.
Pause and unpause. Usually does it.
Pause for now.
Nope, still not letting it. Still not able to move.
How about now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah. Are you on the ruler?
Oh, I'm on the ruler.
Rip.
Okay. So, now I can move. I need to be right next behind Kirrik.
Well, I mean, Kirrik needs to be one square up, and then you need to be behind him.
I can't be
Okay.
one square up. Unless by up you mean forward.
Yeah, right.
Yes, forward.
Yeah.
As soon as
Okay.
because
That's safe.
this ensures that everybody can make it to the gondola in one round. Assuming everybody does nothing but move. Do we want to give ourselves an extra round? How tightly do you want to time before the gondola leaves?
Well, we're gonna have to climb into the gondola, so I think
giving us a second round of time is probably fine. Probably a good idea, because otherwise we have like 10 rounds or whatever, right? So
We can set it to as many as infinite rounds. We can set it as low as one round, and you have to get to it by the end of the first round. So,
I think we should say like 2 rounds or 3 rounds.
so by the end of the third round, the gondola is going to start to move.
yeah.
Well,
I think that's our.
what happens if the golems are on the gondola?
We don't know.
Unknown.
Yeah, but like if we missed how much time in rounds is it when the gondola leaves to come back?
300.
Yeah, so like if we miss it, we're just fighting the
We
golems.
just, well, I mean,
So-
if we just leave.
Assuming we can.
There's a pool of water at the base of the tower. Hypothetically, if some of you are on the gondola when it starts to move, you could, if you wanted to not necessarily abandon your friends, jump into the pool of water. It's a 30-foot drop, but it might be better than landing on quarry ground.
Yeah.
All right. Good to know.
Let's call it 2 rounds. We have till the end of the second round to get on the gondola.
So, the container. I hate saying the word gondola over and over again. The actual platform arrives. The constructs stop what they are doing, bashing the sides of the wall in, and begin carrying these big heavy rocks up to the platform. And as the 10 minutes or so of downtime before this thing is getting ready to leave, they begin smashing the walls again, trying to create new boulders. And the time comes, and you're ready to take your dash. So make sure you got what you want in your hands. Make sure we're kind of waiting for this thing to happen, so the initiative is a little bit arbitrary, but they may get to react before some of you have, and other things like that.
Alright.
Everybody's rolled initiative. They have rolled initiative. Hubert's first. He's gonna hang on to Khali for dear life. Oh boy. I sure hope this doesn't become a sticky situation. He's a Teriani's first.
Should delay for Kirrik.
Okay.
Actually, I guess it doesn't really matter. We're both going before the golem. Okay, I'm not going to delay. I'm going for it. Bam. Bam. Oh, wow. I have plenty of extra movement, so I'm actually going to go here.
All right. The actual platform itself has like a couple of inches of lip to it, but otherwise there's nothing to hold on to.
All right. I'm not going to be on the edge.
Right. All right. So that was 2.5 move actions. Kirrik.
I just wait here.
See how menacing.
I'll sit here, where I likely can't be flanked by them. Unless, could they flank me opposite sides of this arch, or would they have to step on the arch to attack me?
I think if you stand there, you can be out of their tall 10-foot melee range.
Okay, so yeah, I'll hang out here, and then bring up the rear, in case they try to slip on the gondola, or otherwise wallop people.
Okay. They are going to start to react.
Because ideally they should come after. Oh, but they should come after me. That's the problem.
So yeah,
I see.
they are going to turn and lurch Kirrik and Teriani when they rush in the quarry. And here comes the sun. Do.
I like
It's
the
all
music
right.
choice.
Yeah, this is great.
He will spend 3 actions to get up to you. And now it's Khali's turn. There's a kink in the plan now.
Yeah, I didn't think about this. Can I?
And the worst part is we established that Kirrik was out of range of a side flank, and so that removes the possibility of like helping Khali or Lycaena up the side.
Yeah.
Khali is pretty good at acrobatics, right?
She is pretty good
think
at.
that could
We're
be
thinking
kind
of a tumble through.
Yeah.
Lycaena is not, however.
Lycaena's not, but
Does she have cool bombs that do weird statuses?
Yeah, since we had an extra round, we could have just like all delayed to fit initiative in our favor.
No, because like the initiative is for when we start, right? Like
Yeah.
we set up to race, and they react faster
just-
than Khali and
Yeah.
Lycaena can get out of the
you
game.
would set up logically to do the delays, and then they're faster.
There
The
we
stupid
are.
sun
We just
woke up
don't-
early.
we had no way of knowing their movement speeds,
Yeah.
so we really couldn't have accommodated for it.
Well, I could have baited them. I could have stepped.
like here or like
Yeah,
here.
I could have stepped like here and still been within 2 move actions, and gotten them to not block this path. Probably. I was just worried about getting flanked and fucking murdered.
Oh, here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Do we want... So Khali has...
Khali should try to... Lycaena would encourage Khali to attempt tumble through.
Okay.
Unless she has some crazy bombs she can use.
Because at the very least, if she tumbles through and this devolves into combat, we at least have everybody who's squishy in an inaccessible spot.
Alright, it's going to take her 2 move actions to get there.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
So, before we do that, for efficiency that sucks. Anyway, it doesn't really matter
Oh, wait,
anymore.
no, I
For
rolled.
efficiency purposes,
That wasn't
we
Khali's.
have her... Sorry. For efficiency purposes, tumble through is you move at half your move speed, and she can still make it more than the width of the golem at half her move speed, right? 25, 2.5, 15. Do we round up or round down?
Usually round down.
So 10. Never mind.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. What's going on? I feel like I've lost the thread.
Oh, I was considering like turn efficiency and like maybe stopping like here and then doing the tumble through to give her a little bit of like stopping short for a little more tumble through, but that I didn't realize that the tumble through would
Well, if she succeeds, she's going to end up adjacent to Kirrik, which gets her in the clear, and we've abandoned Lycaena.
That's fine. Lycaena's okay with that.
Lycaena's not abandoned until we all get on the gondola.
And even more importantly, Lycaena is the kind of person who would absolutely sacrifice herself for everybody else's safety. So, she does not have a problem with being abandoned.
Success by 8.
Okay. By 8? Jeez.
These seem to be lumbering and slow. That fits the bill of a stone golem, perhaps?
If that's a success by 8. That means Lycaena can reasonably do it too.
Don't forget me.
There's just no room
I
for
like to
her.
imagine she reached back under the golem to grab him like Indiana Jones in his hat.
I do too. That's definitely my headcanon.
Actually, so Lycaena could half your move. Yeah, that's not.
I got an ace card to play for Khali, Lycaena, if you're not able to make it through.
Well, Lycaena will try. I don't make any promises, but she'll make the effort. So, the idea is to move to here, and then try to do a tumble through.
Yep.
I'll attempt it. That's just an acrobatics check, right?
Yeah, if you target him, it's in the basic action macro menu.
Okay. Tumble through. I see it. I'm really bad at this. Yeah. I'm gonna... Should I spend a hero point to reroll that?
Probably not. Well, here's the question: can you even make the tumble through right now with the space we're occupying?
Yes, because you can enter squares that are illegal.
You can enter squares that are legal.
It's my call what happens, and my call would be you just continue squeezing through.
Okay, then it's probably worth hero pointing it. Because if we can get you to the other side, we're golden.
Yeah, okay. I will, I'll re-roll with a hero point.
I mean, with a +1, it's still the math's kind of tight, but there you go.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Oh no!
Committed to the bit.
Did I just roll the exact same thing?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's fine. We
Can I
we
just
we,
say-
we,
can I
we
just
planned for
say-
this. We have another round.
Oh, wait a minute. Don't I have the ability to shove things?
You would have the ability to shove things.
Yeah, but you can't. Shove isn't like reposition. Shove is away from you.
Now,
Which might be a bit inconvenient.
reposition would work, and I think all of that has been consolidated just into reposition.
Oh.
So hopefully next turn.
I mean, Kirrik might be able to shove.
So the moon is
Well,
going
no,
to
it's
come.
just that's Lycaena's weird ability. Do I have enough time to raise my shield, or am I out of actions?
Nah, you move twice and then she tried to slip past it.
All right.
So here comes the moon. The moon says lights out.
Okay.
They don't. You notice that they don't like seem to take advantage of tactics or move to a flank. It's also not very good at this. It misses you clearly. And attempts to make an iterative attack that also misses.
So it like stands, it runs up, it raises its hammer really obviously, smashes down, raises its hammer again really obviously, and smashes down.
Hey, how you doing? Got the engine running or what? Or what?
Yeah.
Hey, Teriani, you are on the gondola. You can see this clearly arcane energy coursing through the corners of it that assemble into like a magic point above hand that attaches to this metallic cable that runs the length of the cable system. If you want to commit 2 actions to studying it, here's a prompt.
Let me consider spells for a second. That might be a bit more impactful at the present time.
I like the idea that Lycaena is getting attacked by golems, and Teriani's like, this is a fascinating piece of magical technology.
Yeah, I mean, like, I understand it's fascinating. I will absolutely be studying it as soon as we move on, but I also understand how to prioritize, and I'm seeing if I can prioritize my way into doing something a bit more useful. You know, if I were smart, I would have cast Warp Step. No, then I wouldn't be able to. There's actually some value in this. If I step down and use Timeless Era to give Khali and Kirrik another move action, that might give you enough actions to get the Sun Golem out of the way. And
Yeah,
give,
I
like,
do.
a more realistic chance.
The one problem with that logic is that, like, because it's in I presume a reposition has the attack trait like all the other things do. After like the second one, there's not really a point in trying it anyway. Because I imagine they have a high fortitude DC. Just a guess.
Yeah.
And they are golems.
Right. And Temple is against reflex DC, which is why it's a bit more manageable. I might be better off trying to study these to see if I can delay its departure. Man, I'm glad my character thinks a lot faster than I do.
Okay,
'Cause, like-
time is frozen.
Alright. Do I have a way to... I don't think I have a way to reposition them. I actually think the most effective use of my action would be to run down Nudge Fate Lycaena, because that will work on a skill check for the tumble through, and then run back onto the gondola. And that would be my 3 actions, but that would give Lycaena a +1 to her attempt at a tumble through. And on top of that, there is grounds for Khali or Kirrik to assist with to like spend their action doing the help action for the tumble. No, because then they'd have to wait there.
I didn't pick Lycaena for the hero point. Fate did.
Well, man, why is that so far away? You gotta have fast movement. Why is that 40 feet? Oh, because, right, I remember now. Bam. Spell range, 20 feet. Plenty of room. Tokens are difficult squares. Yeah, we're gonna run down. We're gonna nudge Fey Lycaena, so you can grab that Nix Tempore effect on yourself. And then I will move back.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Riddle me this. attack roll, is that just a literal attack roll or anything with the attack trait?
Depends.
Well, it says attack roll. I guess it's a skill check anyway, which reposition would be as well. Because Nudge Fate would also work for reposition as well.
Attack roll,
But
skill check, or saving throw, but
it also works for tumble through, so.
yeah. But I can turn a failure into a success or a crit failure into a failure. With a +1 to make the difference there. So that's my whole turn.
Okie dokie. Yeah, Lycaena, the spinner of fate, is giving you a blessing. Kirrik, you've caused a backup on the ramp.
Get off the ramp. Get him moving. Let's see. Let's try a good old-fashioned reposition. See how this goes. Fucking oof, bud. Poorly. Okay, the good news is that wasn't a critical failure, because the critical failure, he gets to move me.
I mean, considering how low that was and how it's only a failure, there's actually a lot of possibility with rerolling it.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm gonna try. If it's a critical failure, I'll just go for it. Bruh. Well.
I mean, your DC is either.
Oh, no, that's 5 less. I didn't do it with map.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were hero pointing, not rerolling.
No. I didn't want to use 0 point unless I critically failed.
Well, I get to throw you across the planet, right?
Not on a failure. Calm down.
No, it was a critical failure.
No, that wasn't a critical failure.
It was a
15 shouldn't be. 15 shouldn't be a critical failure. 14 wasn't.
Oh, you're right. I was doing math from the wrong side. Why was there $1 left? All right, last action.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I still have a +1.
If you don't end this run on the gondola, it will leave without.
Yeah, but Kirrik kind of likes these guys. But I guess there's a chance of Lycaena being able to make it.
Yeah, and if Lycaena can't make it, you're all jumping off the gondola when it starts moving.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna suck, but you know.
Oh, the poor squishies.
Yeah. The smart thing for me would have been to delay my turn.
Yeah, I just thought about that too.
Alright.
The sun is going to shove Khali.
But
Shove?
it doesn't
Not
use
reposition?
tactics.
Well, it's repositioned, yes. No, it's going to explicitly shove.
Okay.
Get on the gondola. We're trying to do this to begin with. What if we just let them aggress? They would have just picked us up and put us on the gondola.
That would have been fun.
So it is knocking her off of the platform.
Fuck.
She has.
Still has the movement to make it.
Let's see if she can
Grab an edge.
grab an edge.
Doesn't she have like a thing for this
Being
that she's
attacked.
been wanting to use?
Hold on.
Acrobatics or reflex save, whichever's better.
Reaction, cat's luck. Oh, reflex saving throw. Okay.
Her acrobatics is 6. Her reflex is 9. We're doing a reflex save.
Okay.
Done.
Also, if she failed that, she could have cat's lucked it.
It is going to turn to Lycaena and do a normal violence.
No, Kitty, you don't get on the gondola. Fuck you, elf.
Yeah.
You die.
8 damage. And final iterative. We hate elves here. Oh, it's a crit!
Oh, with the shove trait, that fucking sucks.
14 damage.
Oof.
Which I assume is doubled.
No, the 14 is the pre-doubling.
Oh, no, I'm an idiot. The shove trait just lets it try to shove.
Yeah, so it basically bumped Khali off the thing with its hammer. And then Lycaena.
Yeah, I don't think there's any free things
Not
like that
anymore.
anymore.
There's weapon specialization, but
Yeah.
it's Khali's turn. She can move action, scramble up, and then get on the thing.
Yeah, Khali should be actually mostly fine.
Thanks for taking up the nearest spaces, you jerks.
Hey, that was probably all I could do.
Alright, Lycaena. Everyone is safe but you.
Tumble through,
All
tumble
right, I gotta do it. I gotta do a tumble through, right?
Possibly.
You also, how much better is your athletics versus your acrobatics?
A lot.
Because you can also reposition it. Now, I rolled a 20 and I failed, but we're looking at like what,
So
14 for the tumble through. So there's at least a 7 difference between the two. So if you have at least a 7 difference in your skills, it might be worth trying a.
Just knock it out of the way.
Yeah.
I mean, reposition is much higher for me, but
Is it 7 higher? If it's not
Yes.
7 higher, okay. If it's 7 higher, it's probably worth trying.
all right. I'll try it.
Holy
Easy.
smokes.
So yeah, just move it 5 feet off the edge.
Alright, so it's not enough to trip it up or fall, it just kind of sets its foot off into the mud. And then you have a clear double move path to get up onto the platform.
Use us partners.
We'll sprint.
considering I just saw Lycaena shove a giant golem, just reconsidering how buff my mental image of Lycaena is.
Yeah, Lycaena is actually a muscle mommy.
Yeah, I think Lycaena's pretty buff.
It's,
And
the
she's
moon,
like wiry buff, you know?
the moon is going to double move up and try and knock Teriani.
Bring it on.
This
You
is
also
gonna
have
be,
Catfolk?
This is going to be a regular normal strike. And it misses! The magic of the gondola starts to creak and shudder. You're all knocked a little askew as it begins to move roughly, and the platform moves out of the construct's reach as you begin to ascend over the treetops of the jungle.
Yeah, fuck you, golems. Hopefully we're supposed to go
I
this
live
way.
golem. I definitely don't want to interfere with how it's working, but I'll take some time while we're moving to action study that thing.
Sure, I'll re-prompt you here. It's magic.
All right. I'm really more occult than arcane.
You're right.
I know what this is. This is magic.
Oh yeah, this is that magic stuff I've been hearing so much about.
Mhm.
Alright, the gondola climbs quickly into the sky. It rocks beneath you, and this sizzling but cool purple energy crackles up into a metal cable running overhead. And yeah, you just gently kind of swing your way through the sky.
Lycaena will check in with everybody. Is everybody all right?
Are you
Yeah.
all right?
You the only one who's hurt.
I'm fine. No big deal.
Blood rolling down your arm from taking the hits earlier. Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, you guys can.
I mean-
you guys can heal up and do.
I'm not saying she wouldn't take a Khali healing check. It's just
Oh yeah, that's the thing that Khali's good at.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, Khali, click, treat wounds. Click. Crafting, trained, or expert? What do we want to do here? Probably trained. We're not very damaged.
Yeah.
Man, who tiled this forest underneath us? There's so much mismatched tiling there.
$12 points, madame.
I will take them.
We have 10 minutes, right?
Yeah,
We have at least 15 minutes.
you have at least 15 minutes. Yes.
At least 10 minutes. It's a 15-minute round trip, and it took, what,
No,
5 minutes?
It's not. You don't know how long the trip is. It's just gondolas appeared every 30 minutes.
That's entirely fair. I kind of assumed it was the same gondola.
Once
back
you
and
get
forth,
up
but
here,
I
you can
not
see
the
that
wrong
there
one.
are several gondolas spaced out along this whole platform, and this ride is probably going to take some like an hour, maybe.
Okay. I take this time to finally crack open that spell book that I got from the other guy who was super excited about me getting a tail.
Hey,
Which I definitely have in my inventory.
it is called in your inventory. Look-see spellbook.
Look, see spellbook.
Oh, there it is. I was looking at the other books. You know, the unburned copy of Curses Foul and Foul, the Psyker's Guide to Elves.
The ones in
Assyrian
treasures,
Scroll.
not equipment.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like the one that's actually in equipment probably has more value to it. I look through and just try to figure out what kind of spells he has here, as well as I know that he was an occult caster, so there should be some level of familiarity here.
Right. You can very easily get the sense of what the spells are without it even needing to make a check in order to transcribe them into your. You don't have a spell book, so I'm not 100% sure how it works.
Oh, essentially, I feed spells to my spider.
Right, yeah, but usually I don't know if you can feed them directly from a spell book without understanding them.
I might need to make. Hold on. Let me double check my rules on transcribing spells because witches have new things, and I'm not going to assume it works the same way it used to.
I know witches can have their familiars like go watch a movie together and they come back knowing each other's spells.
Yeah. You can also like through a. You used to be able to through a ritual teach them spells from scrolls, but I'm not sure if spells from spellbook. Let me put it in there. But I imagine, like, considering the flavor, it would be kind of awkward for them not to be able to pull spells from a spellbook.
Well, you are achievable, or you're talented enough to know what these spells are.
It can learn any spell on your tradition spell list by physically consuming a written version of the spell over the course of an hour.
Okay.
This can be a scroll, or I can prepare a written version using the learn a spell exploration activity.
Okay, so you can rip these pages out and feed them to your familiar, and you still have to pass that learn a spell associated check.
It sounds like the learn a spell is to like write down a copy of the spell and feed it to the familiar, but let me figure out how to interpret this for a second.
But I'm going to go ahead and give you the explicit lists of spells on the spell book. Are there? They may not all be on your spell list.
Okay. So I can prepare a written version using the learn a spell exploration activity, and that's where the check would come in. So I think it's phrased that way so I don't lose access to it if I fail. I can still try again.
I know that's not true with a scroll.
Yeah, definitely not true with the scroll, but it's not quite the same as having a scroll.
Your studies are interrupted. What's everybody else doing while you're riding this gondola over like a weird jungle?
Kirrik will just kind of like look at the horizon while we're reading.
Brooding. Oh, it's so cool. Front ship of the Titanic there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Lycaena will pray
I'm
in silence. She will meditate in silence and pray.
Uh-oh. So, guess how many spells I can learn that I don't already know?
None of them.
1.
That's-
Telekinetic Hand is on the occult spell list. And I don't believe I have Telekinetic Hand. I don't know why I wouldn't. But I don't believe I grabbed it. Nope, I grabbed it. I already know all the spells that I can learn. Everything else is an arcane tradition.
Yeah. I mean, Luxie was an Arcanist, so.
But you described the thing as so occulty. He even made an occult check to do the thing.
The overlap is ambiguous at best.
Man, this is like the wizard casting occult spells in Age of Ashes. I know. Why can't wizards dedicate to the occult traditions?
So way off to the west, some hundreds of feet away, there's like a sheer cliff face with more forest and jungle on the top of it, and there are lots of activity along the side of that cliff face. You can see that there are there's like a colony of like some flying creatures. You hesitate to call them birds. You definitely don't feel like calling them dragons. That are like nesting or brooding along that rock face. And occasionally they make like high-pitched screeching noises that echo throughout the jungle, but sounds through the jungle are pretty common and not anything to be alarmed about. But eventually 2 of those bird forms break off and begin to get bigger and begin to get louder, and are approaching your gondola.
Can we disguise ourselves as rocks?
You could. You maybe got like a minute before they get here. You with the cool L5 perception bonuses that used to exist in the game, will see that they're not quite dinosaurs, but
Kind of unicorn pterodactyl.
I'm not convinced we're in Tianxia.
2 of these things are bearing down toward the gondola, and they appear to be growing in size at an alarming rate.
He looks happy.
It will end up being an initiative, but I wanted to give you guys a couple of moments to be prepared for that kind of thing. They're heading from the west.
I definitely don't want to be off, like, close to the edge.
No.
So when everybody has what they want in hands, Khali will dual wield bombs.
Man, if I throw a dagger at them, I'm not getting it back.
Probably
Nope.
true.
Lycaena would want to raise her shield.
That's fine.
Oh shit, I didn't identify the dagger. It's still unusual.
When you're ready and you feel like you're in the right place and have your hand set up, roll initiative.
My hands are set up. Yep.
Hubert is hiding behind Kirrik's leg.
That's smart, because Kirrik, because
Actually,
Hubert is probably bite-sized.
I'm gonna be back in like 2 seconds.
2 seconds? Yeah, I want to get a Pepsi now.
Fine. I'll also be
Actually,
back in
one
like 2
before.
seconds.
You did offer me one before. It was really sweet. Do you want a Pepsi now?
No,
Will you want a Pepsi in 20 minutes?
probably.
Perfect.
We got the news that we can close on Tuesday.
That's fantastic. You found a place?
Yeah. And now I'm
That's
looking
great.
at my house full of shit. And I'm like, God damn, I gotta move all this stuff.
Honestly, if you can afford it, I cannot recommend highly enough hiring movers.
We're thinking about it. A lot of this stuff wound
Like-
up thrown away. Like, we've been in this apartment for a long
I would
time.
do
and
that
it's some really good
first.
stuff.
I would do that first.
Yeah.
I would do
Like-
a really brutal purge But honestly, like the first time I've only hired movers twice, I think. And both times I was like, this was a smart $400 to spend.
$400, yeah. If it's that cheap, that's in a rare.
I mean, I don't know how much it would cost here. That was in Alabama, but like I did all the packaging. I packaged everything. But like for the big furniture stuff, it was just so nice to have. There was a company in Alabama called 3 Guys in a Truck. Or 2 Guys in a Truck. Something like that. And it was literally like 2 guys showed up with a truck.
You just need some manpower and a truck.
Yeah, basically. I mean, that's what I needed. I was just like, this is perfect. I need 2 people who can lift heavy objects and a truck.
Yeah, the packing everything up is the part that I'm dreading. Not so much the moving stuff. I have a truck. I've got 4 friends all with trucks, but I don't want to put everything in a box.
The best advice I can say is purge brutally.
Yeah, I mean
Like,
the biggest problem is going to be
I've never understood people who like move everything. I'm just like, don't do that.
my biggest issues are going to be my fucking D&D books,
Books are
and
heavy.
I can't be bothered to purge those. I'm not a very big like.
Why would you purge them?
Lost connection. I'm not a very big like emotional attachment to objects thing, but to those I do.
Well, I mean, I can't criticize anybody for having a book collection. I mean,
Yeah, this is the library.
you should see mine. So I'm not, but like
Yeah. I don't think the hoarding issue is necessary. I
I
mean, it
will
can
say,
be
if you're
emotional
going to pack
attachment.
a lot of books, pack them in small boxes.
Yeah. We have
Or even avoid packing them and just load them in the back of your car and drive them over. Because what people tend to do with books when they make the mistake is they pack books in like they get like big packing moving boxes and they're like, we'll just fill this whole box up with books. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Because
We have
instead it
these.
ends up being bonker heavy.
I don't know what the dimensions on these are. They're probably like 1 foot by not quite another foot. And I'm looking at those. I'm like, I don't even know if I'd want to put them in, fill this box up because books get fucking heavy quick.
They really do. But yeah, there's ways to get around it. I mean, yeah. Do you have any overlap time from your lease to your new place?
Yeah, we got plenty. Actually, the next problem we're going to have to
25
figure out is
days.
getting. The next problem is going to be getting out of our lease early because we've got like another 6 months on it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot. Yeah, that's a pain. So yeah, I would look into like maybe moving over, like migrate the books in groups,
Yeah.
How rough is the housing market in Fairbanks right now?
Awful.
Well, it depends.
I think
What are
it's
we talking?
awful.
Like,
I don't
like,
think it's awful.
what
Are you-
perspective are you talking about?
Are you
Yeah, like-
concerned about like there being a significant delay in filling your current apartment?
No.
Because
that's what I'm.
They will have no problem filling that apartment.
Okay.
So
Then
when I
there's-
talked
I
to
haven't
Dan,
even seen your apartment, Nick, and I'm just assuming.
when I talked to Dan about it, my buddy who used to run these apartments, he said that what he would have done, and this doesn't mean anything, but what his company's like default is that you pay until they get somebody else in, as opposed to just you have to pay through for the whole lease.
They
So
cannot make you pay through the whole lease. They have to actively be looking for other people to fill the apartment.
are you sure about that? Because
Yes.
Dan's very confident that is not true.
Really? Because that was when I talked to the realtor, because I was breaking a lease moving out of my last place into this one. When I talked to him about it, he said that if she didn't want to fill it, then I was not responsible for the lease. Like she
I don't know.
had to
I
be
think there's a
looking for
difference
someone to fill it.
between somebody not wanting to fill it and somebody like I think the idea is they can't force you to pay if it's not their intention to re-rent the apartment.
Right, but I think it's also probably perfectly legal for them to be like, well, you agreed for it for a year, so
Yeah, they just enforce the existing contract.
yeah.
Actually, hold on a second.
But, I mean-
Dan made it very clear that his company's policy was to do until we find the next guy, but they don't have to.
Yeah, I really don't know I don't know enough about the tenancy laws in Alaska. I know who I could ask, but I don't know off the top of my head. But given the rental market in Fairbanks, I can't imagine they're going to have trouble finding somebody.
Yeah, I mean, the longest point of contention for turnover in this apartment is that because we've been in here for 10 years, they're going to have to probably, like, do all the floors, all the paint, all the, like, so just the actual getting it redone will take a while.
Yeah. That's probably true. Have you really been there for 10 years?
Just about, fucking, since September 2014.
Wow, that is a really long time to be in a single rental.
Yeah. Well, we, the rent was, like, ridiculously cheap when we moved in. It was, like, $10.50 for a 3-bedroom, 1-bath that allows pets in a great area. I mean, Yucca Estates itself is kind of mid, but we're up at Cheater Ridge. And then my buddy took over as the landlord and just kept our rent low. So we've been paying $11.70 for the last 8 years in a market that is now, like, these apartments now go for $1,900 plus.
They don't deserve it.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I was about to say, I've seen those apartments. Yeah.
Speaking of things that aren't deserved, pterodactyls.
No, they don't deserve that pee. They don't even use it.
Pterodactyls. They are quickly approaching, but you guys have had a couple of moments to prepare yourselves for their imminent arrival. Teriani, you're first. They're approaching from the northwest.
They look pretty hostile, right?
They do. They're screeching and are hungry.
Okay. Well, I'm screeching and I don't want to die. So.
Also, they're hangry. You're hangry. We're all hangry.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't forget that you're about some 100 or so feet up above the jungle.
Yeah. That was going to be a
And
concern.
also, to be clear, the squares under the lightning bolts are safe for you to step into. The electricity or the energy is over your heads, so those aren't like danger squares.
Oh, hey,
Dangerous
look who's
squares.
in range. I almost think I just throw chuck mule darts at it and see how they actually want to fight.
I think they just want to eat us. I don't think they're, like, capable of high-level tactical thinking.
I mean, yeah,
Okay.
but, like, animals still have instinctual levels of tactics. Like,
You say so.
know.
We're in a city.
I mean, look at ants. They don't even have brains, and they know how to make ant colonies.
Ants are terrifying.
Slime
Yeah.
molds.
I mean, wolves fight in packs, and the one you're not looking at is gonna be the one to jump on you.
Clever girl.
Yeah. Like, it's not.
Beavers' instinct to dam water is so strong that in places where they keep beavers, like zoos and shit, they have to control where the sound of running water comes from. Otherwise, the beavers will tear things apart trying to get to it.
Got to get that splash.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
Did
needle.
I hear a fucking babbling bird?
let's chuck a needle dart at it.
You missed.
And you know what? I'm bad at this. Can Kirrik or Lycaena do ranged attacks?
They didn't bring any.
I mean, I've got my.
Lycaena, I managed to really fail to buy gear intelligently for this character, and yeah, I don't have a ranged weapon.
I got my laser beams.
You do have spears, which technically are ranged weapons, but you only have one of them.
Yes, which was not smart.
We need to get
I
a
think I
returning rune on
screwed
that thing.
Yeah, I screwed up my gear purchasing. Okay, leave me alone.
I mean, you couldn't have bought a returning rune on your gear purchasing anyway.
We're leaving her alone. Teriani, you missed. The dinosaur effortlessly glides out of the way of the spray needles coming at you. It's it was the dodge move it used, not your bag roll.
It's windy. Wasn't anticipating it. Who wants +1 AC? Probably Khali. Considering the angle they're coming at. Yeah, we'll do that. We're going to give Kirrik +1 of the nudge fate, which I will put the pass thing on. And my familiar of balanced luck. We'll apply it to Khali with a +1 to her AC. I don't have permission for that. But I'm sure the DM does.
Yep.
And then click intern.
Okay, Hubert's gonna crawl in the middle between everybody's feet. I'm helping. It's like, yeah, I promise I could do more when the situations aren't like, stacked against me in every conceivable way.
Maybe we just have him on an arm and we use him like a shield bash.
Lycaena.
He's a literal hedgehog. Leave him alone. Lycaena doesn't really have a ranged... I don't know that she has a ranged combat option. Other than keeping her shield up.
You can,
what are my
not
spells?
to feed you prompts or anything, but you can spend 2 actions to hit them when they come into range.
Yeah, I think that's her plan.
Been already in action.
Already in action.
Okay, ready to strike. What do you want to do with your last one?
Raise shield.
Perfect. They're out of range for Khali's bomb, so I think she'll wait until it gets in range. One of them does.
How many of them are there? I only see one.
I see 2.
Oh, there's the second one.
So yeah, she's gonna throw her bombs when they get in range. Kirrik.
Trying to shoot laser beams, why not? Pretty sure they're in range of my laser beams. Oh, maybe not. Nope. Distance is hard. I will prepare to attack. Yeah. Okay. So I will. Which I have my ward up already, and then when one of those guys comes in range, I'll blast and beams it.
Okay. What do you want to do with the one thing?
I don't know. I don't think I have the one action.
I almost think it's better to ready in action to slash at it rather than use your laser beam because.
Well, I don't know if I like the only way they'll be in range to slash at it is if they come around to me, which is unlikely, or if I step to the edge.
That's fair.
So
You can make yourself a tastier target.
I can. I don't know if I want to. So yeah, I'll just prepare the blasting beams and then I guess waste an action because I can't think of anything else.
Okay, we'll see what happens. First one to react is the more northerly. It's gonna swoop. It's getting in low to go under these electricity beams to the best of its ability. So it's going to
Going loud.
so it is swooping in to try and grab either Khali or Teriani. Will resolve. Blasting beams happen. Bombs happen. So let me resolve the bomb first.
Does Khali's weapon have reach? It's not Khali Lycaena's weapon?
No. Oh man, so close to a crit.
Man, if only I nudge bait her.
You don't have to worry about splash damage because this is resolving before it gets. Now, Kirrik beat this flat check.
Nope.
Can I hear a point of that?
Nah.
Not for energetic meltdown.
Yeah.
Alright, so you take 3 damage. And have the mild backlash effect. Which is the cool. But that does reset your flat check.
Was it not already reset?
I mean, it was reset, but you still failed it.
You reset it again.
Gotcha.
When your flat check resets to 5, backlash progresses. On a failure, you use your deviation and then suffer backlash. So it does always manifest.
Oh, that's neat.
Cool. We should learn to
here's
use
the
these
tackle.
abilities that are critical to the game.
I missed.
Alright. So the pterodactyl was swooping in. Khali threw a bomb at it. Teriani is adjacent to it. When it gets here, does it have reach? It doesn't have reach. So Khali, Teriani, let's do a flat check to see which one of you it's going to pluck out of the air. Beat a 16, or you're going to die. Right.
Can I hear a point of that? No, I'm joking.
Beak.
Ow.
Ow. Uh, 10 points of piercing damage as he gets his toothy beak around you. And he is going to, for the rest of his turn, take you into his mouth, move you off this way, and drop you.
My reaction grab him.
You cannot. And that's
Wait,
Anyway.
this is no check for grabbing me. No check for moving me.
Yep.
What? Who designed this bird?
Can I use my deviant ability to try to grab Teriani?
Yes.
Actually, can I use my deviant ability to not get hit in the first place?
Yes.
Okay, let's do mine first because that would logically happen first. This is going to be a focused thing.
You gotta do a flat check first. I have it built into the classification.
I mean,
Oh no.
it still happens,
It
but
still happens. Suffering all the backlashes today.
let's see if he misses.
What did you see? I think you're frightened regardless of, if this works or not, because what's happening.
I like to imagine whenever I try to use that on part of my eyes, I see into the ethereal plane.
Something
see something
inexplicable
spooky.
touches your mind.
Yeah. And it's just like a big smiling ghost figure. I'm just like, oh, fuck. Hope that's not always there.
Right? You can still...
And his flat check?
Oh, I'm making the flat check. Forget it.
Yeah. It's because I'm concealed against it.
Told me that.
Hey!
Alright. So he goes
I'm
to
not
snap,
gone.
He goes to snap you up, and his mouth passes right through you.
And I see the unseen. I'm terrified.
You still take that.
No.
I should have strike that would have hit
It's-
you.
Yeah, it's concealment.
He didn't hit you.
Yep.
Undo.
Hey.
Alright, it's going to continue its movement, and looks like
So anyway.
it's looping around for another pass.
Now that we understand that these things are fucked up,
Yeah, it's very explicit that it's not grabbing you and carrying you, but I think that fits the narrative better. It is a fling ability where they are throwing you.
So they can fly in, grab me. They can fly in and reposition me for free.
No, sorry, it's not for free. They make a check. He didn't grab you. You just imagine this happening, and you're like, I need to dodge this, and turn ethereal for a second.
Yeah, my unique, ties with fate let me see one of the alternative futures right there.
All right, this one is going to be doing more or less the same southern group of friends. So, Lycaena, you can take your action.
What?
I will attempt to stab it.
$13 will not hit.
All right. Okay.
So let me get a flat check from the two of you to see who gets.
Did I roll a flat check? I just tried. I've clicked the button like 3 times.
It's probably putting it into chat. Waiting.
Yeah,
No.
if you click the dice, it shorthands a roll 1d whatever. So you just click the dice and then hit roll.
Oh. Okay.
Cool. I'm gonna bully.
Oh,
Kirrik.
gotcha.
All right, now I know the order of operation here because of the shenanigans. So beak strike is a miss. Continues to go to swoop. All right, they're taking a nice wide spin, and they're probably going to come like north and south bound. Teriani, brush with death, but you managed to step into the plane of don't touch me.
Touch
Yeah.
me there.
I'm still a bit shook.
Square.
Wait, what if what I saw was the Finlands guy? What was his name? I forgot his name already. Because we already established I had a weird thing with him after I killed him as well.
Kanipo?
Kanipo, yeah. Bring that full circle. I'm like, wait a second, I killed that man.
But did you?
Yeah, you were there.
You were there.
Well, your character was.
Whoa, critical hit!
Yeah, sorry, I'm shook. I do not hold back when I'm shook.
Well, look at him, 4s.
Right.
I need to double this.
Yep, for 24.
Hey,
Damn. We'll get him next time.
Let's
Yeah.
try to avoid having a next time.
you have a tertiary action.
I could one action magic missile him. That might actually be a good idea.
Don't you ever try to touch me again.
Yeah, the thing is with consideration of the risk that we take, letting him swing again, I actually think optimal is the single action magic missile to try to finish him off.
Yeah, I think I can vibe with
I
that.
have no impartiality toward your actions.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm kind of inclined to agree with you. Like, we can't risk one of us falling off this, getting pulled off this thing, because then.
Hopefully you
what the hell
rolled
are we
enough
gonna do at that
damage.
point?
The needle darts. While he's struggling, and I see that he's almost dead. Can I hero point that?
Don't need to.
Okay.
He is plucked and falls out of the sky. Good turn. Hubert taps you on the calf and says, "Don't ever let me get you mad at me." Lycaena, you're up.
Yeah, I think Hubert's seen
Well-
me kill things more than he's seen anybody else kill things.
Is this thing coming around for another pass? Can we
It
tell?
is, yeah.
God. Can we, I guess already in action to stab it when it's close enough.
Right. Safe. Third action.
Ray shield.
Alright. Khali. Hey, that's me. I guess she draws... Does she have more bombs?
Didn't she have 2 in her hand last time and she was only throwing 1?
Yeah, she had 2 in her hands. I'm looking to see if she's got a third to put in her hand. She does. So she'll put 1 in her empty hand and then ready to throw the bomb when it approaches again. Kirrik.
My turn. Alright. Yeah, I guess, realizing that, okay, well, I can't step out to the lightning, so...
You can step into the lightning. No, the lightning squares are safe.
Okay, then I'll...
giving you explicit knowledge because the lightning is over your head.
I'll step here and then prepare an action to attack.
Alright, well this thing is dumb as a brick, so it is doing its loop, sees Kirrik by himself, and it's going to try and grab him. So, lots of prepared actions. Khali will throw a bomb.
Me, take me! I'm right here!
She misses. I'm going to defer on splash damage. This isn't a situation where splash damage makes sense. Lycaena, you hit. Kirrik?
Yeah. Oh, I am going to hero point that. Because I can't hero point his rolls, so... A lot of damage. I gotta get me an actual striking gear.
We all need better gear than we currently have.
Yeah, if only the end of this gondola was some kind of a save point. Alright, let's see if this pterodactyl can get somebody. Beak strike. Nope. It continues to swoop, and this time it looks like it's going to be swinging around the other side. Teriani, you're not frightened 3, you're frightened 2.
Yeah. It's supposed to go down automatically at the end of my turns.
I may not have told you to.
Oh, okay. Alright, well, I guess. Let's see how this goes. We're going to needle darts him again. I'm probably going to hero point that.
Oh no.
Kirrik sees what's happening, right?
Yes?
What do what's happening?
Yeah, I'm going to nudge fate you. Well, because you see that he's circling around to attack the other side.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm going to nudge fate you and give you a little edge on applying violence to the bird. And because all I did this turn was apply profanity to the bird. Thank you. Oh, and then we'll also give you an extra AC just in case with my spider thing. Because I don't have range to do that to the bird.
Hey, Lycaena, back to you.
Oh, Kirrik, that's a +1 AC to you.
I did it.
I'll raise my shield and ready to attack the bird if it gets back in range.
Khali's not gonna wait around. She's gonna draw a potion, move to the edge, and throw bottles at it.
Oh, what the fuck? That's not where you want to be.
We accidentally kill.
You know what? Mistakes were made. The Kirrik hero.
Move to the
Like-
edge. Prepare a strike.
I look behind me. I'm like, okay, yeah, I got this. You know, +1 Kirrik, give him some AC because he'll be out in the open. And then I look back behind me, and Khali is just in a different spot.
Hey, fuck you! And just throws a bomb.
Alright, it's gonna
Does
trigger
though
from
like the
Kirrik and
kind of
Lycaena.
person who would absolutely do that though? Like,
It looks like
seems
it's gonna
that
try and grab
looks
Lycaena, because Lycaena's at the back.
brand of reference, like recklessness. All right, strikes.
Terrible damage.
Yeah.
My Kingdom Verse striking room.
It's gonna try and grab Lycaena. It missed.
Oh, good.
It's gonna continue. Pass again.
How are you gonna get +3 from your shield?
I don't know.
Is it a +1 shield?
I mean, it would have made the difference, or it doesn't make the difference, but still shield +3. As somebody who built
No,
a sword and board fighter,
It's not a +3 shield. It's a steel shield, which is normally plus. Maybe it's a Warpriest something or other.
When the
just wanna
automation
know.
gave it to you.
I just want to know the secrets of how to get more AC out of a shield.
All I know is I'm raising it. I don't know.
I think. Well, it's result missed by 2 because of the shield.
Oh, I know why. Because of my bracers.
Your bracers.
My bracers give the bonus to the shield if you're benefiting from a shield. That way you don't.
That's how you max out your shield AC, is get someone else to play an Exemplar.
Yeah.
Okay, it missed. It looks wounded. It's still turning to do another pass. Teriani,
This guy's committed.
I should be frightened 1.
you're frightened 1.
Yeah, this thing is not particularly bright, is it?
Well, it still thinks it can win.
I mean, you're right, it's not, but considering it's trying to kill us, I'm not
It also
gonna
only
do
needs
that.
to land 1 hit, so.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The context of what how these things hunt is they just drop things off high places and then go pick up the carcass.
Oh, I don't have any more hero points.
No, I'm not saying that like it has to be any more successful than it is. I'm just saying like
I think I want to shift the AC bonus to Khali, probably. Yeah, we're gonna keep. We're gonna refresh the Nudge Fate on Kirrik in order to prompt the familiar balanced luck for Khali. Oh, and there's the Nudge Fate, so you can refresh the duration on him if it matters.
I am a person who does all of that. 9 rounds remaining, replaced with 10 rounds remaining. Hubert is gonna
Ready in action to stab it when it's in range?
yeah, he's gonna jump up on Lycaena's shoulder and get a ready in action to tackle it. Like, okay, I'm a team player.
careful, Hubert. Lycaena will say. He doesn't
Hey, you
want
guys have
Hubert
done
to-
a lot of work to make sure that I keep me alive. I want to try and turn the favor around.
Yeah. Okay.
Pluck Hubert up. That's the end of him. No.
Yeah, I was about to say we're gonna lose Hubert here. I'm not sure if Lycaena would go after Hubert. Probably she would, because she's a frackin' hero.
Racking hero. A hero that digs into the ground for oil.
It explodes the
that's
ground for
exactly
oil.
Yeah.
Alright, so Ray Shield and ready.
Yeah.
Khali is out of bombs entirely. Except for the bioluminescent ones. Guess we'll have her draw a dagger. And ready? Kirrik.
Step. Ready. Pass.
Man, I'm like considering how much trouble
This motherfucker.
I killed the other one.
You're still going to be able to take your strike, but not till after it resolves its Lycaena's strike.
Okay.
So Lycaena's will trigger first.
Okay.
Attack him. Hit him. Beat him up.
Yeah, if you still want to make that strike.
Kick his ass, Tony.
50-50 attacking Lycaena or Hugh.
No.
No, it's gonna eat the hedgehog.
Right,
That's not very good.
Flat check from Lycaena versus flat check from Hubert. Hubert's fine.
Lycaena is not.
Let's see, that's fine. She's got 23 AC.
It hasn't hit you yet. You've been blocking it off with your shield, but maybe this very last ditch
Oh my
effort
god.
to get
Oh
you.
my god.
Oh,
You got a numb. Solving.
I don't really know that Lycaena's got anything. Like, can I use my deviant ability as a reaction?
I
don't think so.
You one.
I don't think it gives me one.
When do I get my strike?
As soon as this resolves.
So as soon as it flies away?
As soon as it moves again, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's much Lycaena can do in this situation.
Alright, take 4 damage.
Other than take 4 damage.
And then it is going to do the check that it should have done forever ago on Teriani, but Teriani dodged with cool abilities. This is versus your Fortitude DC.
Uh-oh. See, now we have a problem.
Yeah, so, okay. It is going to move in. This is the thing that doesn't allow you to grab an edge, is that it comes in, it manages to get its beak around you, and it tosses you off the edge. And then it's going to continue moving, which is what will trigger for Kirrik.
Bruh.
Kind of trying to swoop to get around. Khali ready to stab it. And she's going to Titan swing.
I'm gonna go out of my way and assume that Lycaena's not dead.
We'll look and see here. Turned on.
I honestly don't know the answer to that question.
Lycaena's definitely got a pretty big problem.
Yeah, you got 100 feet fall here ahead of you. I think Khali with Titan Swing, manages to kill this thing and it barrels over the edge.
Okay, so we have a Lycaena in the air.
So,
does what? Wait, Khali has rope from the one creature, right?
let me check.
Anyway, as I was saying, Khali has rope from like the guts of that one creature, right? Right?
Yeah, Khali has rope. You guys rush to the edge to see what's up with Lycaena and Hubert.
Mhm.
Lycaena, I need you to give me a Fortitude save. Okay. Lycaena and Hubert, you are both going to take 10 bludgeoning damage from the fall. And
That's all?
Lycaena, you are sickened.
We're only taking 10 bludgeoning damage from falling 100 feet.
Kirrik, Teriani, Khali,
Hooray.
you look down and you see Lycaena and Hubert enveloped with this crackling purple energy coming out of the bottom of the gondola, slowly bringing them back up.
Fucking gondola's got safety precautions.
It unceremoniously deposits them back on the gondola. Lycaena, you are somewhat nauseated from the sudden stop and electrical energy. But Hubert's a tough guy and is pretty much ignoring it. And whew, he managed to fend off the pteranodons.
I really. Wow, that was the thing that just happened. Okay. Lycaena's not sure how she feels about this whole thing that just happened to her.
You know, what's funny is I thought about the possibility of such a mechanism earlier, and then I was like, nah, this thing is just for transporting rocks, not people. I guess it wants to save the rocks.
Well,
Yeah.
and also, like, occasionally somebody might need to go and, like, check on the golems. So I can understand why you'd want the ability to, like, have people travel on this methodology if you needed them to.
I mean, if this was only for transporting items, it would just be like a giant basket.
I forgot to turn the pretty clouds on.
What do the pretty clouds look like?
I still don't see pretty clouds.
Oh, I see them. I'm not sure they're really, like, worth the extra effort, but they are there.
Oh boy! All right, yeah. You were not devoured by dinosaurs.
So what the fuck? I'm assuming the fucking pteranodons just aren't aware of the mechanism. But it also seems weird that they would have developed this this flick maneuver and not expecting things to just fall to the ground off of this gondola and not
Well,
realize.
they may not regularly hunt from this gondola, though. Like,
But like, where does the flick maneuver come from?
You
I don't know, they're dinosaurs.
You do see that there's like a colony of these brooding on like the cliff face that's some hundreds of yards away, where they seem to.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense.
All the animals are weird here in
Wherever the hell we are.
Tian Sha.
Definitely Tian Sha.
You guys are
I'm
getting
not
more and more
convinced we're in
skeptical of that
Tian Sha.
as the day goes on.
But I don't know what's going on.
Aren't we supposed to be seeing kitsunes and rat people all over the place?
Well, not in the middle of the freaking jungle.
The rest of the gondola journey gives you a little bit of time to recover and rest before you arrive at this vast pyramid. As you approach it and the sun begins setting to your left, it reveals itself not to be a single structure, but many buildings in various states of completion, surrounded by wooden cranes and scaffolding as more pyramids are constructed, as well as the glinting sun reflecting off of the glass of telescopes protruding from several of the buildings' roof, as well as a large central one. I don't know if you remember this image that we're not looking at, because we need to reset it.
Wait.
There.
Was the omnibulant curse on this side of the gate as well?
We don't have any way of knowing that.
No,
Yeah.
you haven't encountered any elves yet. Waiting for you at the
Encountered anyone yet?
waiting for you at the other end of the gondola's gangplank is a large crowd of elves.
Well, considering I think it'd be pretty dumb to hide, I guess we wave.
Yeah, they don't appear to be hostile or threatening, and you know that elves tend to be curious first and then militant very quickly afterwards.
I definitely like pull back and make it obvious that I am also an elf. Sort of.
Point your ears up.
Mostly elf.
You're a
Maybe I
holy,
should hide the tail.
you're a holy celestial elf.
Don't murder me on racial basis. I'm one of you.
I don't know.
Kill the other one.
Lycaena's halfway there.
Yeah, Lycaena's not particularly but she doesn't really see any reason to show that off particularly.
The gondola approaches and stops. They've sort of graciously help you get down. There doesn't seem like there's any sort of leader here, and they've all approached you en masse, speaking in a very accented Elven. All of them, basically pulling you not away from each other, but they're all talking to you individually rather than as a group, with lots and lots of Elven questions. Hey, we've never seen anybody like you. Who are you? What are you doing here? What's going on? Where did you come from? You guys are also dressed so strangely and things like that.
How are they dressed?
They are the fashion is different. There's nothing immediately recognizable about them. Some of them are wearing loose robes. So
it's not obviously TN or something.
Right. Some of them are wearing loose robes. Some of them are wearing capable adventuring gear, leather survival kind of stuff. There's lots of jewelry, lots of silver and gold bangles, and they have what you, Desnan, Black Butterfly person, would recognize as lots of astrological and astronomical symbols, and you, occultist, would recognize as well. They seem to be super into space or the stars, is the cultural dress that you get.
Okay. That is amazing. I asked them if they know anything about the aiudara that we came through, if they where exactly we are, and if there is any kind of leadership structure or someone we can talk to about potentially getting back.
Sure. They kind of look at each other.
I do kind of like a trading questions with them. Like they ask me a question,
yeah.
I answer. I ask them a question.
So they introduce themselves as the Oasia.
Does that mean anything to any of us?
This settlement is called Lascialua.
Okay.
I ask if it's on Golarion.
No, we're 100% on Castrovel.
That's most people don't understand that question. But a voice not hidden, but just deep within the crowd, in common, in Taldane, speaks up and says, "You ask about the cage," and the crowd kind of splits and reveals to be this elderly woman, absolutely decked out in Desnan apparel, and is very clearly to Lycaena not a Desnan, but reveres the black butterfly.
It also would make absolute... So she's referring to Golarion as the cage.
She says, You hail from the blue planet. Welcome to Castrovel.
Yep.
Castrovel is where the elves are originally from, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Fun fact, I've run the first Starfinder adventure twice, and both times when you get to Castrovel, there's a weird tentacle plant monster that injects poison into you so you could brood its babies, and that has murdered 3 players
Cash rolls
just through
fine.
the disease track alone.
She said she ushers you over and brings you to a telescope and takes some readings on it, and then points into the dark sky that's slowly getting darker, and says, "Your home. That's your world."
Yep.
And you can take a peek through this little telescope and see it's a blue dot.
Oh yeah, I recognize that from here.
I can see my house from here, and everyone else's.
Yeah, that's like kind of yeah, that makes sense. I've studied enough astrology to know.
Okay.
Actually, come to think of it, at any point would I have seen a moon, and would I have recognized it?
I mean, I think you made checks for this.
We
You're like,
made-
yeah, we're a Tiansha.
We made checks for this, and you
Oh,
did
okay.
absolutely terrible on them.
Yeah, so your character's like, yeah, I study astrology. I totally knew we were not in Tiansha.
Yeah. Well, I like to think more along the lines of I didn't consider the possibility of being another planet, and so I didn't check to see if that would make sense. And just
Like, I mean, we don't, as player characters, necessarily know much about Aiudara. And so we may not have any idea that it's possible for an Aiudara to take you to another planet.
Well, is that true? Most people know that elf gates are how elves got here, don't we? Because don't most people understand how elf gates kind of work?
I mean, most people.
they know.
I don't know if most people do.
I mean,
We have a
places
privileged
around-
we have a privileged perspective.
I just know I've run a couple of adventures where the assumption is that you know how it work. You know what's up.
I mean, you know where. Like, I think it's common knowledge of elf gates are a thing that take you from one place to another, but I don't necessarily think it's as common to know like the history of where elves came from and how they got here.
Well, the Oatians are. You're here now, and it looks like you've had a rough time. Please accept our hospitality and let us share stories. And you've reached a safe zone.
Right, say so.
Uh, do they know? I actually go forward and ask them if the place we came from was ever dangerous for elves.
Golarion? Golarion
No,
terrible
as
place.
in the forest we came from. I'm probing to see if the omnibulant curse was active on this side, because that's just something I'm curious about.
Right, without being explicit about that kind of question.
I would absolutely be explicit about the question.
So there was a void, and then we came from it, and it was cursed.
Yeah.
So you are. I like how it says it's an old Desmond lady, but her art is not that at all.
I mean,
we old for now.
Yeah. Pathfinder elves don't show age very well.
Right.
I think it's literally just the storyteller, and he was ancient.
So this black butterfly. What do you call it? A black butterfly worshiper?
I don't know.
Double Desmond.
They just don't talk.
Just don't talk.
Yeah, most of them don't.
She is a Lely. You are.
I'm not saying that 10 times fast.
Yeah, you are also introduced to another person of importance who is one of their sages or important people. They're comfortable speaking Elven. Not really anyone except Aleli can speak Common. Let me see here. But Kirrik, they do know. Several of them know Draconic and are able to communicate with you that way. And I think they're able to communicate with Khali through Fae. And then the rest of you know Elven, which they prefer. The
Can I-
other is a wizard named Genthiel.
So the vibe we get is friendly.
Mhm.
These guys don't seem like they're gonna try to kill us in our sleep or anything.
No, they are happy
I
to
mean,
have
that guy
visitors.
looks like he's going to try to kill us.
Well, and
But-
Aleli
Yeah, that one's
is
definitely gonna try to kill us.
particularly addressing the crowd. These people are our guests and our friends, and as fellow travelers under the night sky and the space between, we have to give them respite and hospitality.
Um,
I feel like this guy would be like within the context of the fact that that's what elves are supposed to look like. Is a lot less scary looking.
I actually I ask if they know how of the aiudara that's in that area of the forest and if they know how to activate it.
Oh yeah, Idar are lousy with that place, or Idar are lousy all over the place. That one we would need to have the key to activate it.
Well, I pull out my key. This one will activate it from the other side, but it did not work to bring us back.
No, Aleli is like, maybe I would have to study it and inspect it.
I mean, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
It's not entirely useful to us now.
Yeah, well, we'll get to the bottom of it.
I asked them if there is a safe word for the golems to get them to not attack us.
That's unfortunate. No, they won't attack people who wear our regalia. Otherwise, they defend from all intruders in the selenium quarries.
Okay. Are they looking for a symbol? And would you... You know what? We're probably not going back there soon. We'll come back to this if it comes up.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, I
make
was about
sure,
to say let's all try to figure out I don't know anybody else, but
we'll make sure that you are perfectly or protectively emblazoned and under our care. If we will need to, that gate that you came from does indeed connect back to Golarion. So I imagine that will be, if you so choose, want to return home, the way that we'll need to progress. Like I said, we'll have to figure out how to reverse engineer your key to open the gate. And I might have a friend on the inside.
Yeah, friends on the other side.
Do you know, I've made contact with a stargazer in a place called Skywatch from your home. She somehow, through a telescope, managed to transmit a message that we've received recently. I've been hoping to reestablish contact with her.
Oh, cool.
Kind of impressive.
I have no
Yeah.
idea how it was done. So
I will...
neither do we.
Teriani would absolutely ask, questions such as, how was it received? What did it look like? And, yeah, Teriani would be all over this kind of stuff.
yeah, so this is an opportunity, for you guys to have a pretty substantial amount of downtime.
Okay.
Because you have a Aiudara to reactivate, which, as you know from previous Age of Ashes experience, is not a trivial matter.
I mean, why can't we just have aiudara activated with songs? That's fairly common.
Maybe that's the key.
In a large part of the... Yeah.
And we are only at 2 hours, but Sarah never showed up, so I'm kind of okay with calling it. Welcome to Castrovel.
Can we shop here?
We can shop. This is a civilization. You can buy all your cool runes. You can restock and get whatever elven supplies you want.
Will they take coin from Golarion?
Yep, because there is an elemental plane of value.
What's the plan of value?
I mean, in fairness, if it's not necessarily the coins have value. It's the coin this is guaranteed to be X amount of gold, which X amount of gold will have value.
Is it me or are we just kind of poor?
You are kind of poor.
Okay.
No, we're poor.
Well, no striking rune for me, but I can at least get some fucking medium armor.
Oh, and I'll count this as, I guess, a restock for the for my present planner.
Hey, yeah.
You even use that since the last restock?
I wasn't entirely sure how it interacted with the fact that I got the feat and we haven't been at a shop
haven't restocked
since.
yet.
Yeah, I haven't started it in the first place. I was considering the possibility of asking for some DM fiat on that, but it didn't seem like it would be necessary.
I mean, edge on the side of fun, right? And fun is me saying no.
Yeah. Hmm. Is there anything I particularly want to handle here? How much gold do I have? I mean, I have some treasures worth an amount of gold.
My dex 2.
Oh, substantial amount of downtime. Do I get anything interesting from the Curses Foul and Foul bound in eelhide?
Curses, foul, and fell bound in eel hide.
Like, is there anything interesting in there, or is it just functioning as treasure?
It is, as you study it, mundane in nature. It does not contain any actual curses or spells, and it's super disappointing. It is effectively just treasure.
Okay. Then I don't necessarily think this is the best place to try to sell the Psyker's Guide to Elves, all things considered.
Yeah, you can also, spend time studying it, and I'm appraising all of these for you. Gold value.
Okay.
Well, we definitely
Um,
need to liquefy some stuff.
Yeah, I have. I mean, if we do want to sell the Visitor's Guide to Elves, wow. I have 21 gold and treasure plus 10 gold and mushrooms.
Yep.
These people party. Can I sell the mushrooms?
They're elves, and they're also scholarly elves. So if you were going to sell drugs and or books, this is the place to do it.
Oh god, this is basically a giant college frat party. Nice.
That spell book will have more value than one. I'll need to figure it out based on the value of the spells it contains.
Yeah. I will be interested in selling the spell of the book because I cannot gain any other value from it.
Right. Anybody else is carrying anything of consequence?
No, I don't think so. We haven't gotten a lot of treasure.
I mean, we haven't cleared things out as much as we probably should have. But... Oh, does...
Hello?
Oh, hello.
Holy shit, the timing!
Oh, whoa. Where have
I
you
can't
been?
hear you.
You can't... Hello?
We'll keep talking.
Yeah.
Hello? I can hear now.
Hi,
Okay.
welcome to everybody.
Hi,
Okay.
sorry I'm so late. Things happened.
One day you'll be in charge of your own schedule.
One day.
It was not intentional. I was supposed to be home like literally over 2 hours ago.
Rip.
I feel that. We almost got... You know those birds would have been scarier if we never actually got thrown by one?
Oh, that's all I want.
I mean, not that I necessarily thought it would be a death sentence, because that'd be a shitty death sentence to put in a game like this.
It was great. I got to really lean on the drama of Lycaena getting thrown off the edge, and then you killed the bird, and then you saw that Lycaena was fine.
Okay with that being a death sentence, personally.
I think if it were a death sentence, I would ask for an additional save. Because, generally speaking, things that outright kill your character are stuck behind 2 saves. And one of them it'll be like a critical failure and then a save or die.
So what were we in the process of doing as I joined?
Well, we
Um,
got to the pyramid that we were all moving towards,
Hmm.
and it turns out we're on a different planet.
Well, that's fun.
It's okay. They're nearby.
I mean, everything's nearby when you think about space.
There you go, Joe. There's the text.
You guys fought pteranodons? What did I miss? I want to see the pteranodon ride the dinosaur.
We made a mad dash past those golem guys to get onto the gondola, which worked mostly without complication.
Mhm.
Yeah, that
And
went
then
really well, actually. That was a good plan.
And then we got attacked by pteranodons, and there was a point where we were kind of like matching one of them. I would step forward, so it would attack me, and we were all planning it. And then Khali was like, "Fuck this shit, bomb!" and stepped on the edge,
Huh.
which sounded accurate, I think, to all the party here.
Roll with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
So you've arrived at this elven city called Lakatu.
Hmm.
I'm calling it Lakitu.
I've already forgotten the name. Laskialua.
Laskialua. Man,
Lakatu.
when I say that out loud, it feels like I'm mispronouncing it.
Laskialua.
Laskialua.
And they call themselves the Oashia people.
And there's the Alila. Alili? Alele?
Yep. There is Aleli, the Desnan.
Not Desmond.
Is taking a lot of interest in Lycaena and is looking for a good opportunity to meditate with her. So how interested you are in mentorship or not? Seeking mentorship opportunities at this time?
Lycaena will take a mentorship opportunity.
I mean, she will be like, this is the only time she'll be able to sit in silence with somebody else because we all know the rest of us won't shut the fuck up.
Kirrik
pretty
doesn't
much.
talk very much.
Yeah, that's why Lycaena likes him.
It could be quiet if it was
Like,
specifically asked.
They could be silent together. It's just like...
Yeah, Aleli is someone who commands a lot of respect in the community, but is also somewhat ostracized. You understand that by the Black Butterfly being part of Desna, but not also the part of Desna that people are comfortable with.
Yeah.
Your more political and actionable contact is the wizard Genthiel, who is, sort of part of the leadership of the meritocracy of intellectuals here.
Lycaena is not particularly intellectual, so she'll avoid that, but she will spend time in silent meditation under the stars.
And you were given a tour of the compound facility place. Effectively, this is a community that exists to support and operate the telescopes. Like, they are fully committed to scientific observation of the cosmos.
Makes sense why they speak Draconic here.
Everybody is pretty much, if not actively a Desnan, Desna is a very important philosophical concept here.
I will absolutely roll with worshiping Desna.
Don't worship Desna.
I worship most of the gods because I'm actually because Teriani is actually one of the only people that doesn't dedicate to a single god.
Lycaena doesn't call you on it, but
I mean, Teriani has studied.
I think
enough
there's really
religion.
anybody, even clerics. I don't think, except for clerics who are probably fanatics. I think in a polytheistic world where multiple gods are known to exist, most people probably semi-worship all of them.
That's what the Greeks, right? The Greeks would always be careful not to piss off any one of the gods, but if you lived on the coast, you probably paid a lot of extra attention to Poseidon.
Exactly.
But you still wouldn't be like, man, fuck Zeus, am I right?
If you were looking to get married, you probably lit a candle to Hera, who was the goddess of marriage.
Yeah.
And if you just wanted to get laid, you probably also lit a candle to Aphrodite. I mean, who is literally the goddess of making love or having sex.
Also the goddess of war for a time being. It's really fuzzy. Like, Greek history, as we know it, is what we treat as kind of a snapshot. But there is a large period of time where Aphrodite might have been considered a god of war. There is a period of time where Aphrodite was a cult.
It's almost like cultures.
evolve.
Yeah, especially
It's
in a
almost like
pre-internet
things
age.
spend thousands of years, like, evolving. So, I mean, the practical reality is, like, I think it's hard to argue that anybody in Golarion does not, on some level, unless you're Kirrik and you hate the gods and want to destroy them.
Yep.
Most people, if you're going to go on a long journey, light a candle to Desna. If you're walking into a courtroom, you probably light a candle to Abadar, and maybe even Odious, depending on how your day's going. Like,
Yeah, that's kind of how I was generally imagining Teriani's worship in general. Is like a very
yeah, I mean, I
thorough
think that makes
acknowledgement of all
complete
gods.
sense. Like, it doesn't make sense to, like, there are people who are dedicated to a single god, but I would argue that even someone like Lycaena, who's dedicated to the Black Butterfly and also worships Desna, like, if she's going out on the ocean, she's gonna light a candle to Gazra. Like, she's not an idiot.
Like Teriani would absolutely feel comfortable like joining in worship with the Desnans if they have a dedicated space or a time for that.
Yeah, but they feel comfortable having you. You're kind of weird.
He
I
is
think more importantly,
Teriani
I don't
is
know
kind
how
of weird.
organized. I don't know how organized Desnans really are. Like, Desna being a somewhat laid-back god. Like, a Temple of Iomedae, this ain't.
Sarah, did you
I'm
get the
sure
message
everything
that I
is super
sent
duper
you
scheduled.
between sessions?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out which awakened ability. Was this just like a weird dream or something? Or was I hallucinating?
Good question.
The answer is yes.
Good question.
Answer's usually yes. Am I hallucinating? Yes.
Hey, Teriani, what did the thing you saw when you hallucinated look like?
I pull up the picture that I've showed everybody before.
I don't remember what the picture was.
Can you describe it, Teriani?
It was a cloaked figure leaning against one of the Aiudara in the circle outside of what's it called?
Seven Arches.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Seven Arches. I didn't get a lot of details of the person when you described it to me in the first place, but
Yeah, I mean, you only saw him for like a second when you were knocked out.
yeah.
And Kirrik and Lycaena both saw a tall suit guy with big smile.
Yeah, and that guy's been pretty much resolved to be
Yeah.
Kanipo.
I saw him
Okay.
at least once after he died, though. So
So, I think I've seen something different than all three of you. Unless Teriani just cannot remember his thing very well.
First of all, I'm offended.
Don't hate her for speaking the truth.
It's been a long several weeks of gaining a significant amount of experience points and power.
Yeah, we've definitely, like, it's been an intense few weeks for all of us.
Honestly.
It's like all of this has seriously happened over, like, what, 3 weeks?
I think so. Something like that.
We got a pretty significant amount of downtime at the last religion. We'll get a pretty significant amount of downtime here, it looks like.
Well, we
yeah,
didn't, actually,
those...
because we spent all of that downtime trying to find the Kanipo information.
It's...
So it was like a week of doing research to find Kanipo, but like a week is not that much time.
Honestly, that's pretty impressive how much progress we were able to make in a week.
Speaking of the downtime actions, do any of you have any of those potions that I asked you guys to hold that I could not carry that I don't have the formulas for? I think Kirrik has one, unless he sold it.
I haven't sold any potions yet. I have Stilish Oil, Elixir of Life. Those are all yours. And then I have a healing
I think
potion.
it was the oil, wasn't it? Cause,
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I remember I asked one of you to hold stuff because I, could not. I'm like, I want formulas for things. That was just off the top of my head.
We harvested these mushrooms on this planet, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Doc, you got shrooms?
The elves can identify them as mindhammer mushrooms. And yeah, they straight up turn them into tea.
Great. Psychotropic mushroom tea.
For Desna, absolutely. It's like better dreaming.
No, I mean, that was not an objection.
Well, and you guys have had some pretty unsettling dreams throughout the past couple of nights. Not like recently, but well, that's not true because Khali had an upsetting dream, literally last night.
Did I see me with horns?
I don't know, you have ears, so maybe it was just the lighting.
Humanoid creature, white fur, shaggy over heavy skin, and 2 knobbled horns protruding out of its head. Oh no. Is it me
Wow.
with horns?
A lot of those line up.
That's what I'm saying. Is it me with horns?
I don't know. And also, I occasionally see spooky things when I use my deviant ability, so we'll see how that plays out. I don't know if I'm
We
hallucinating
all
or not.
occasionally see spooky things if we use our deviant abilities.
I think we are spooky things when we use our deviant abilities.
You might be spooky thing.
I'm
Deviant
pretty sure
abilities.
I'm a spooky thing without deviant abilities.
We don't like to be mean to the spider like that.
I mean, when I use my demon ability, all I see is like lasers. So
So, Khali, I think you have pieces of equipment that you wanted to add to your formula list through destruction. So we can figure how much time that takes. I know you've got the bioluminescent bombs. I'm going to grab all the stuff in other people's equipment that you might want to.
Oh, can we identify my dagger?
We can.
Oh, I thought that would work differently. I don't know why.
Nature of this dagger is unclear. Teriani. It doesn't actually, now that you've got the resources to check, it doesn't appear to be magical. So you go over the materials it's made out of and identifying it, and it's just a plain old dagger.
Oh, okay. It just looks cool.
It's wicked and cool, and you think that it was manufactured extra planarly.
wicked.
Like this was made by a fetchling or something.
I mean, that's a conversation piece at least.
Yeah.
Nice.
But its impact on the world is that of a mundane dagger.
Okay.
But so if you want to call it Shadow Dagger or give it a cool name or something, so it can start building that reputation.
I know. I'm going to start enchanting it by just doing cool shit with it. And it'll become magical through my deeds.
Wow, you guys have an Everburn.
Also through magic.
We got that forever ago, didn't we?
You got some plant materials that are unknown.
Yeah, I'm actually considering the possibility of selling the ever-burning torch because we've kind of solved lighting it in general.
Shiver. Yes, I want to know how to make drugs.
All right, Teriani, I'm taking that shiver and giving it to Khali.
Okay, but only if she promises to make me some drugs too.
Khali's having flashbacks to another cat race.
You got alcohol.
Of course I have alcohol.
When Adam did his Morrowind spin-off, I played one of those, and I really wanted to start a drug empire, and nobody else was on board, and I was very upset.
What? But the scuba trade! It's so ludicrous!
Everybody, I think everybody had their own things, and so nobody was on board, like, deciding what thing we wanted to do, so nothing happened.
Nice.
But skooma.
Moon sugar.
I'm telling you, man. I was totally prepped to build a drug empire.
Honestly, though, of all the empires to build off of, that one would be a pretty stout one to do.
This is
and other scrolls.
The plant materials.
I'll help identify those.
Surely one of us will know.
Neither of you know. These are plants from another planet, like Golarion.
We'll figure it out one day.
I'm down to liquefy most of this stuff.
Put it in the stash if you want to get rid of it, and I'll process it.
Okay.
I'm giving Khali the Sidle Fish Oil.
I can't drag the ever-burning torch into the stash. Why? How do you put things in the stash?
It might just be non-responsive about it.
Oh, it was just being non-responsive. It went over eventually.
I think it's because I was moving the...
Why is alcohol a poison?
It is.
Because
It is a
Yeah,
poison.
I was about to say.
It's a poison, but I feel like it.
I'm going to figure out the value of that spell book. I guess I'll do that now.
I mean, the only other classification it could be in is drug.
Oh, I mean, it is in drug.
Oh, there you go.
Which I understand that. It was just why would it be in both was more my question.
Oh, the alcohol's only worth 1 copper? I'm keeping that.
Wait, I want to learn how to make alcohol.
Fine. I'll give it to...
I feel like Khali would make much more money and live a much more fulfilling life, perhaps, if she gave up, the whole adventuring thing and just like became a drug,
drug
maker.
dealer.
Drug
What? No.
manufacturer.
I feel like she'd be very insulted at being called a drug dealer. She's like, what? No, I would never partake in such a depraved...
Khali has words if you have coin.
I would never deal drugs. I just give them out,
Yeah, I make drugs.
especially to children.
No, Khali likes children too much to ever give them bad things.
Well, I mean, the drugs aren't bad things. Hey, kid, I like you a lot. Here's a gallon of LSD.
No!
I can imagine for the mushrooms, we just got a bunch of people together, did mushrooms, and I walked out with 10 gold coins, and nobody can remember why.
Mushroom.
There's not necessarily a purpose of me carrying a scroll of magic missile. I mean, it could come up, but...
I am valuing Look-See spell book at 22 gold.
That seems fair.
Pretty solid.
Oh, right, and then Dinah's be looking
Yeah,
for
we looked at it. It turns out that most of the spells in it Teriani can't use.
Yeah,
Unfortunate.
and the ones that I can use, I already know.
Now I gotta look up the rules.
So we're not broke. I just had 72 gold of random shit on me.
Alright, now I gotta figure out how alchemy works when you want to take apart an item.
I have lots of items to take apart.
There's rules for that reverse engineering.
I'm looking for it.
I think it's under crafting, not alchemy.
Alchemical crafting. Assassin dedication. That's not what we...
I can make
Well,
poisons.
that may be what we want, but not at the moment.
Crafting trained actions. Identify alchemy. But that's not it.
Craft. Formulas.
Reverse engineer items to learn their formula. Player core, page 294.
Player core, page 294.
Use the formula's price and the item's craft DC. Yeah, and the Oatians are happy to give you access to their laboratory. Super scientific group of people, so.
Okay. Well, good thing I have 2 of most of these.
So I think get your character sheet over. Bioluminescent bomb. That is an item 1, so it will cost 1 gold of materials and a DC 15 craft check.
Okay. So would I just roll that, or do you have a button or something?
Click, no, I don't have a button. Yeah, just roll craft.
Okay. Button. Roll. Well, I got what I needed.
That's a critical success. I don't know if you can critical success on these.
I rolled a 15, so it's kind of funny.
Alright, so I'm removing one of your bombs, but I add it to formula.
Okay.
Gonna knock a gold away. Alright, you can make these.
Ooh. Shiny.
The other thing. Shiver.
Shiver.
Shiver is
Yeah.
a level 3 item. DC. Actually.
Were we still planning on wrapping up, or does that change now that?
No, we're still gonna wrap up. Shiver is gonna be okay. So now there is a button in your known formulas with a little hammer for Shiver. Click that.
What, just click the hammer?
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll roll it.
Yeah. So that is also
Okay.
cost. Oh boy, a lot of money.
Oh no.
No, it's gonna cost 3 gold.
I mean, that's kind of a lot of money. That's more than a tenth of my current gold, and that is more than a tenth of my total coinage and total, or not total wealth, total coinage.
Yeah, Khali's got a lot of cash.
You guys just you dropped it all on me, and I said shiny. Let's go.
That's fair. So, let's liquidate. I think getting is your weapon already a +1, Kirrik?
It is already a +1. It is not
So he's
a.
gonna go striking on it. Okay.
Here, I'm just gonna.
So another thing with your downtime you can do, Khali, with that tree fisher filament gland, you can use that to add the sovereign glue formula, which is a level 7 item.
Okay.
So if you want to give it a shot, you may want to wait until you're a little bit more ready to do that.
Probably.
Oh, there's also a bunch of fucking treasure in there
It's
too.
extremely and the filament gland is also extremely valuable. So you
Yeah.
want to set the worth if you just want to sell it.
The reason we have not liquidated this treasure.
We have never been shopping.
Well, okay, we're here, so I was assuming I wasn't making sure nobody's saw it and decided not to. But if
I can't
nobody's
speak for like
opposed,
anybody else, but Lycaena would like to get a martial weapon now that she can have one, as well as a ranged weapon. Because
I mean, these people probably have short bows all over the place.
yeah, I've actually got a short bow here. If you want it, just drop it in there.
yeah, Lycaena wants a short bow.
You should get some throwing weapons, Kirrik, just in case.
Yeah, that's what I got. I give her the short bow. I can take the throwing stuff.
Handful of javelins, always useful.
I want to move all this treasure over to my inventory and then liquidate it.
And I don't know what armor she's currently wearing. What the hell is armor Lycaena currently wearing? Okay, she's currently got a breastplate.
Here's all of my arrows.
I think is the maximum armor she can have. I don't think she gets above medium.
Stage 7. Death. Okay.
Why is there not? Why is throne not a fucking filter? The fuck? I don't even see propulsive.
Great question.
It's funny how one of my least favorite things in 5e is that like there's only like 10 weapons and you effectively only have like 3 weapons, and then in Pathfinder it's like, okay, there's too many weapons. Calm down.
Yeah, I'm always so conflicted about that because on one hand it's like it's nice to have some variety, and on the other hand it's just like, oh my god, guys, we don't need to be this excessive about it.
Yeah.
I kind of wish there was more benefit to specializing into like single damage types on your weapon, but usually you want to smack something with a rainbow.
So how do we feel about scrounging up an additional 16 gold? Sorry, 26 gold. No, 16 gold to get me a striking rune.
Well, I think
Uh,
everybody else should buy whatever they want before we start talking about striking runes.
Sure.
I still kind of want to learn the formulas for these 2 other consumable things that I have. If those are actual things that I need formulas for.
What are those things?
One of them's the, however you say it, oil.
Oh. Okay, let's see.
Okay.
Add it to thing. I think manage it. Looking through everybody looking through inventories is like the game's like, oh no, all my databases are open.
oh yeah, I'm probably not helping. I have the compendium up.
It's like Lycaena needs a sword, period.
Okay, you can click the hammer on Cyberlish oil.
Okay. Oh.
Neat success. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing.
I don't know, is alcohol an alchemical formula?
Technically, yes.
I want to make alcohol.
It's a level 0 item, so you already have the form.
Wait, they're level 0 items?
Yeah.
Cool, I have free alcohol.
Free booze.
Who do I take this from? You can have it back.
Teriani.
What am I having back?
Do you want your alcohol back?
Yeah, sure.
She looked at it and was like, I don't need to know how to make this.
I mean, it is kind of everywhere.
But I can make special stuff.
Yeah, we'll talk about that during our next downtime. Yeah. I'm just looking for like viability of grabbing a staff, but there's no staff that would significantly benefit me right now.
You said you've gotten everything there is to get out of that spellbook, right?
Yeah, I put it in to be sold,
Alright, cool.
along with the ever burning torch, also be sold.
I don't know. I can build merchants, but I don't know how to do that yet.
Loot boxes can just be turned into merchants.
Yeah, I know, but then I have to set like price values and like what they're. It's more complicated than I think I know how to do.
And swords?
Gun swords.
Sorry, I'm looking at things that are level 0 in alchemical to see if I can add any more, and there's a bunch of rounds, and one of those rounds is for a gun sword.
Yeah, there's a kind of gunslinger called the Trigger Brand that's just Leon from FF8.
Nick, let's do a test.
Okay.
So
You can make lots of drugs.
I'm gonna put this shopping spree icon down. So I'll put a little treasure chest down there.
Okay.
Put your scale mill in it and see if it gives you 2 gold.
Scale mail. It did.
Cool. All right, I've solved it.
And it's smart enough to take it from the stash and put it back too. Neat.
All right. If you take your scale mill back, it should give you 4 gold.
Oh, and it refunds, huh?
Well, yeah. Did it do that?
It took away all the gold I had, but my gold I had no gold other than the 2 gold it gave me. So.
Okay, so it's a one-way thing. Oh, it gave me the gold. That's what happened.
Yeah, because it should take gold from me.
Yeah.
I'm
So I'm sorry, I'm losing track of what's happening here, guys. I apologize. How much do we each have to spend at this point?
Well, I've dumped every gold piece I have into the stash. So right now the stash is 67 gold into it.
Yeah, we haven't gotten that. But I can.
So if you just want to buy whatever it is you want to buy, and then with the excess slap it in the stash, and then.
I don't know that right now Lycaena has any gold except the gold that she started with.
I mean that might pretty much be true. That was mostly true for Kirrik. So we had a bunch of treasure in the stash, which is now liquidated. And then
yeah, I mean, unless you want, like, Lycaena does still have her cold iron blanch. Do you need to learn how to make that?
I think that's from
No, yeah, I can make that.
Okay, and then I have a Drakeheart mutagen.
That's also from her. Does it have a little eye? If it has one of those little information eyes next to it, it's from her.
It does, yeah. Okay, so those.
Yeah, I think I have most of the actual gold from any of our previous selling adventures just on my person. So.
Yeah, and then I have something called Nectar of Purification.
Oh, I don't have that. Can I learn to make that? Is the question.
I don't think that is an alchemical.
No.
It says it's a magical oil.
Well, that's not alchemical then.
Magical.
Okay.
Magic.
I do not know that we need to keep it. I'm happy to get rid of it.
What does it do?
It casts Purify Food and Drink.
If you drop it in the party stash, then we can drop it to the.
Where is the party stash? How do I do that?
Press P. You'll bring up the party page, and one of those 3 tabs is stash.
Okay. And I just drag it over?
Yeah.
It may like freeze up because moving stuff seems to be tough on this process.
Then we should be able to take this Nectar of Purification, drop it in there, and receive money.
So we're gonna have enough for Kirrik's striking.
There currently is enough now, but let's get Lycaena her martial weapon. There's a short bow in the party stash for you to take, Lycaena, and then we can get you a.
It'd be good for her to get some kind of martial weapon because she now has proficiency in them, which I didn't when I built her.
Nick, do you mind selling the plant materials in the scroll? Because when you do it, it seems to work, and when I do it, it dies.
There's no gold value listed on the plant materials. Is it going to be a problem?
It has a gold value. It's just you don't know what it is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So what we'll do here is I'll go ahead and... What kind of martial weapon do you want?
I figured I would stick with sword and board.
Yeah, weapon filters.
Unless there's a strong argument to switch to something else.
Yeah, making these little vendors is great because I can be like, oh yeah, that thing you sold to specifically this guy.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Did you just turn the loot box into a vendor, or did you do something
I
different with
turned it into a merchant and then I set the price ratio to 0.5.
it? Okay, cool. Good to know it's that easy. The only other reason why you may not, like, it might be that you don't get a long sword or a sword is just because I have the Barrow's Edge, which is slashing. So a piercing or bludgeoning weapon would be like covering our bases, but otherwise I don't think it matters.
Big hammer.
I kind of want this alchemical gauntlet.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's an argument for a weapon that does multiple damage types. I just am not sure that I see Lycaena as a mace or hammer kind of person.
Yeah, like I said,
Swords are
I don't
elegant.
think it really
Yeah.
matters. That was just the only reason why you shouldn't just get a longsword. I don't think it's much of a reason.
The aesthetic trumps the mechanic.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it always does for me. And God, my god uses a frickin' star knife.
Star knives, what a waste.
Stupidest weapon ever.
So I'm going to drag a gold over, and then I'm going to buy a longsword, and then I will put it in the party for you to take.
Wow, you've got a personal shopper.
I know, it's very helpful.
Don't worry, this is entirely selfish. The easier I make it to get everybody up to par, the more likely it is for me to be able to get a.
If I do
strike.
your math, I'll be able to fleece it so that I get a striking rune.
Not fleecing. Just look, everybody, we're all settled.
Yeah, you can see all the transaction logs in the chat.
I am actually like all for prioritizing the striking rune because if you get a striking rune, I don't have to prepare runic weapon.
Yeah. Let's see the longswords in the party chat for you to grab.
As well as arrows for your short bow.
Correct.
Ah, neat.
God.
I don't suppose you can drop a striking rune in the shopping spree.
I don't want to use the shopping spree for buying. You should be able to get it just out of the compendium, and then delete it, and then change your Barrow's Edge.
Yeah, but it's so much work. Before I grab this and commit to taking the 65 gold, is everybody
you
caught up?
don't need to actually buy it. Just deduct the gold.
Yeah.
Which, how much is it worth? I'll knock it out of the party chat.
65.
Fine.
Nobody has anything else they want to get?
I'm thinking about it.
Okay. How much coinage do you have on you?
Enough to get what I want to get. I have.
to not participate in this conversation.
Then I'm grabbing the striking rune.
Okay, I'm knocking 65.
I'm just debating whether or not I should get it if it would be of any real value to me.
This fucking Cloak of Thirsting Fronds, as listed in my inventory, is worth 330 gold.
What?
But it's also a level 7 item. So I kind of don't want to throw it away because it
No,
seems
you
like it'd be
keep
useful.
that.
As if I can figure out how to fucking make it work.
Yeah, that was the problem, is that you identified it, but nobody could figure out what it was.
Could we ask somebody in this community to tell us that?
Yes. So yeah, I'm gonna charge you to have somebody do that.
Well, it seems reasonable.
Um,
Seems like a service worth paying for.
yeah, I'm gonna charge you 6 gold for that.
Sure.
And 6 gold. All right, and they tell you how to activate it, and the problem with that you're having is that you've misidentified this item.
Okay, that makes sense.
So let's trash this.
Okay, what actually is it?
I thought it was gold value. I was like, there's no way this is what this actually is.
You were close, but it's actually a cloak of gnawing leaves, which is the same thing but less powerful.
Gotcha. That makes far more sense. I feel like I could have gotten this identified for free by going, bro, look at this 330 gold item. You might
No
give
way,
me...
no way.
I
I
was
was like, I'm gonna charge you 5% of what you say it is to turn it on. So it is a cloak of gnawing leaves. It's a rare item, which is probably why you had trouble identifying it. And that is a great thing to give to anyone.
What does it do?
It's in the chat log.
It hurts
I'm
people that try to
in
hurt you.
trouble.
And do you know what? I'm down for that.
It takes your reaction, which is part of the problem, the only real problem, and it's also once a day. So it's not great, but when you use it, like, cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's just free damage sometimes. Well,
Right. I'm going to hit the distribute coins button to allow coin type conversions. There's 3 leftover copper pieces, which I'm going to give to Kirrik for doing all the banking.
yeah, I guess without John, somebody's got to do it.
It's who
John
has
was-
the muscles.
John was our bad guy.
I think it's who wants the striking route badly enough.
I mean, it
That's
was John.
that's exactly why John did all that, because he was like, all right, I want, because he was a dual wielding ranger, so he had to manage all those runes. So he did all the math and was like, guys, this is okay.
Mhm.
Wait, someone take a single silver piece. I want all of my things to end in 5.
You can do the conversion if
No, they'll all end in 5 now. I
He
just
wants
would
to
rather
have
take
it,
one
just
away.
wants it to end in 5.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take the extra silver.
Yeah. I just need them all to end in 5. That's a happy number.
If it'll make Khali happy.
we can decide how many days of downtime we want to take. We will once we get back, maybe do like some earn incomes about that while all these things are happening. Some of the downtime is going to be spent helping. Some of the downtime that you're not going to like have to spend, because I want to give everybody the opportunity to do additional crafting and or earn income or whatever, is going to be backwards, like figuring out how to get the Shade Wither key to activate the aiudara to send you home.
I feel like that would probably involve at some point trips to the aiudara to figure out what's different about that one compared to the other side.
Potentially, possibly.
Unless they can do it with just the key, which would be amazing.
Well, starting with the key is the first step. And so before too long into your investigations, this is going to be our cliffhanger ending, is that, you know, some of the, research is, background, finding out where you came from, what specific aiudara, them trying to find their history and use of this aiudara specifically. The key has been lost. It probably went to Golarion and never managed to make its way back, which is why it's disused and out of service. The place you appeared was a ruin, so it's clear that the elves here have not been making use of that in any way whatsoever for as long as there have been elves.
The worst part is it's probably not another gate within 100 miles, because why would you have 2 gates going to Golarion close to each other? We got Golarions pretty big. You could have gates going to different spots on Golarion.
Well, they're optimistic that this key can be used to reverse the polarity and use the tachyon emitters to technobabble their way back to Golarion, or at least reactivate the gate. At some point during the course of the research, Aleli takes the Shade Wither key in hand and suffers the curse.
Oh.
Oh.
And fucking dies?
She immediately passes out and begins to visibly wither and shrink. She doesn't die, but she is clearly in a bad place. Whatever vestiges of the Anibulet curse that were, haunting Seven Arches, when she takes the key to begin studying it, it strikes her.
I feel like that's probably on us. We were given the clue that it's still active because whoever was holding the key, if it was myself or Lycaena or Mark, was glowing, signaling that it was protecting us. We could have known. I just forgot about that detail until Adam mentioned that that it's hurting what's her face. I get the key away from her as soon as possible, and then I go and find a doctor, magic person, a Lycaena. I find a Lycaena.
Yeah, you find a Lycaena. They have the elves here have centuries of healing arts. Lycaena, you are also able to participate in this if there's any expertise you can provide. But this is clearly a curse, and you know that it is a Fey curse. From what the reputation you have heard is that it is eventually lethal. Most elves succumb to it within a few days, but Gentile is Aleli is no pushover, and if anyone is going to survive it, it's her. And when she is examined by some of the elders, I'm going to give you a block of text to read here, and that'll be the last thing we do today.
All right.
Well, it'll be the reminder when we get back tomorrow.
Black Frost Whale. That sounds cool as fuck.
Oh,
Whale?
hold on. You're telling me that what's his face? Kanipo didn't even make the curse himself?
Whale.
Is there more read aloud, or is that everything?
That's the end of chapter 2.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
The bag is a whale.
Wait a minute.
But I'm supposed to save the whales.
I feel like I might have seen this in a dream. A dream.
A whale?
Man,
Behind the ice, a shadow, a colossal form.
we have got to get Khali to be better about her dream interpretations.
Yeah. I just remember a big furry guy with horns, not a whale.
Oh, there's a lot that happened in this dream, you see. That's better.
I was like, okay, let's try something. Can you draw it? And I give Khali a pencil and some paper. Or I guess quill, ink, and paper.
Mm.
Of course, I'm not helping by looking right over her shoulder while she's trying to draw.
Is that it? Is that what you saw? That was it, right?
Okay.
All right, we got to go pick up a car.
Okay.
We'll. Rachel's out of town next week.
Oh no.
No, you get back at like 2 a.m. Saturday night, right?
Yeah, I get back 2 a.m. Saturday. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna want to do anything on Saturday.
Understandable.
Sorry, guys.
So, well, and there's a VIP going away party Saturday as well. So more than likely no game, but perhaps.
Okay.
I can confirm my changeover date for my schedule is the 19th, which means that we can follow normal procedures for the 18th. But the week of the 19th, if we're gonna change our schedule, that's what it would have to be, or like the week after, since we would have just played.
Yeah, and we're butting up against Gen Con. I might want to take that week off.
Wait, Gen Con?
PaizoCon.
I was gonna say Gen Con's not until August. I've got
Wait.
some plans to go there.
That changes on the 19th. I don't think we
Well.
want to play, like you said, the 18th and the 22nd. So between the two of those, the 18th. But, yeah, it'll be fine. It's fine.
Are we at the end of the first book?
We are not. We are at the end of the second chapter of the
Okay.
first book, but
And it's what, 3 chapters per book?
there's 3 chapters per book.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm doing Sky Kings, right? And that does like milestone leveling, I guess is like intended. And it's going fast as fuck.
Really much prefer milestone leveling, and I've been thinking about it, like, why? And I think it has to do with pacing. Because,
Yeah.
like, I'm not sure that there was any point, like, one of the fights, so in order to get from where we came out of the gate to this tower, we had 4 fights? 5 fights? And I'm not convinced that that was necessary.
Yeah,
Like 1 or 2 of those fights, I think would have been fine for, like the jungle is dangerous, okay, and like the golems thing was cool, but like
You did no damage.
I don't know.
That whole fight.
I feel like they're trying to make you level, so I don't know. A lot of the combat just feels like BS.
I can kind of agree with that, because the only other way is like to put people in like smaller, like less common, more dangerous fights, which feels bad. My only complaint about Sky King's like intending to use a milestone leveling thing is that I don't think it told me when I was reading through it. Maybe it did, I missed it. So like I had to panic level my guys up because I was looking at the math of the fights and I'm like, this does not seem right. They should not be fighting extreme encounter after extreme encounter. What the fuck is going on? And it was because like there's huge blocks of that in that adventure of like research and detective work, and I didn't know how to convert it into XP, and I couldn't figure it out. And then I looked at it and people like, yeah, this is supposed to use milestone leveling. So like each chapter they're supposed to level up basically.
No.
Because
No,
it's hard to
I've been trying to
convert
think about-
3 sessions worth of investigating into XP.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Imagine looking at the encounter math.
Yeah.
What a good
right.
GM.
Well, since we're going to be done, I have to go shop for a fridge now. So.
All right, enjoy your refrigerator. Thanks for coming to the Pathfinder game that I'm running for Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have to go eat food at some point.
Eat a food.
All right, I'll eat a
Fun.
food.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.